We are live, man, because this is Set with Set and Comedian. We are back with another one for you guys. Today, we got a good one for y'all. Today, we're about to get into the World War II conspiracies, and we're about to get into the border crisis, man. Let's go, man. All right, start with Piers Morgan.
Hitler, Churchill, this guy's the chief villain? Really?
And that doesn't mean that you're some type of, Holocaust denier.
Utter conspiracy theory nonsense. The idea of Zionist financiers was a dog whistle as far as I was concerned.
And he says what happened in France under Hitler with that invasion was infinitely preferable to what just happened at the Paris Olympics. Like, to suggest that that's infinitely preferable to an offensive display at the Olympics is wild.
So, like, as somebody who has consumed hours and hours and hours of his content, I'm not, like, hanging him over one tweet that he sent that I think was, like, yeah, again, being very hyperbolic and I don't think was really landed.
Tucker praised this guy as, like, the greatest historian and scholar. He gave him a very soft interview where he didn't push back on any of this stuff. And I mocked that, and he got kind of upset about that and reached out to me. I'm like, I never called you a Nazi.
Dave
I just said you
Smith,
went soft on a Hitler apologist.
Dave Smith always got the best
So Winston Churchill
Okay,
is
that's
almost
pretty solid
unanimously
takes.
regarded as a hero in Western society, not least by me. In fact, I think, like a lot of people in this country who voted in the greatest ever Britain, that he is indeed the greatest of all of us here, ahead of Shakespeare, Charles Darwin, Sir Isaac Newton, the Beatles, all of them.
Well.
Yes, Churchill had significant flaws, including some caustic opinions and brutal decisions which were very much of their time. These flaws are widely acknowledged, and he made some big mistakes. But not when it comes to the World War II. Rallying this country and the Allies to defeat
we
the
gonna
Nazis
get into it.
has always
Like
been
the video.
considered a very good thing. Because self-evidently, it was a very good thing. But last week, history podcaster DARRYL Cooper appeared on
the
Tucker
winners write the
Carlson's
stories,
show in a
right?
now viral interview, which
the
included the
victor
claim
goes all
that
the
Churchill,
spoils.
not Adolf Hitler, was the, quote, chief villain of the Second World War. As we'll see, it didn't stop there. Debate has raged ever since, not just about Churchill, but about whether free speech and free thinking apply to something as binary as historical fact. In a moment, we'll debate the big picture with part of the Problem podcast host Dave Smith, who thinks DARRYL Cooper is a national treasure, and Babylon B CEO Seth Dillon, who does not think that. But first, I'm joined by eminent historian and author of Churchill, Walking with Destiny, a brilliant book, Andrew Roberts. Andrew, your first reaction when you heard about this interview with Tucker Carlson, not least to the fact that DARRYL Cooper was described as the most eminent historian in the United States, was that a surprise to you?
That did surprise me, owing to the fact that I hadn't heard of him. So I asked a few historians,
Adolf Hitler
seriously
apologist.
significant figures, American historians, and they hadn't heard of him either.
I watched
Holocaust
it, and
denier.
entertaining though it was, certainly
Everything you don't want to be
watchable,
called.
I just kept thinking, that can't be true. That isn't true. Well, I know that's not true, but the overarching theme that somehow Churchill was a bigger villain than Hitler was so preposterous
And
to me.
Stalin.
And Stalin was so utterly preposterous that at that point I went, I can't believe anything this guy's telling me.
Yes.
Yeah.
The shocking thing for me was that Tucker
what they want you
Carlson
to
was
think.
taking him
Yo, what's
seriously
going
at
on,
all.
Glitch?
A lot of this is just
Yes,
repeated
sir.
old David Irving
Glitch.
stuff from
Hey,
20
man,
years
said our
ago.
Glitch, man. Too
There
many.
were 8 or 9
Hey,
major accusations
hey,
that were made
T-Bone.
against Winston Churchill.
Go ahead and subscribe, man, if
none
you
of
ain't
which were
already.
true.
You
Well,
fit
let's
right
go
in
through
here.
some of the key ones, because I think it'd be useful to viewers who didn't watch it to play a little clip and get your response to what was claimed. So the first one, Cooper argued that, as I said, that Churchill could be seen as the chief villain of World War II, and he was responsible for it becoming more than just an invasion of Poland. Let's take a look.
How would you assess Winston Churchill?
I thought Churchill was the chief villain of the Second World War.
Well,
Now, he
even a
didn't
lot
kill
of
the
people.
most people. He didn't commit the most atrocities. But I believe, and I don't really think, I think when you really get into it and tell the story right and don't leave anything out, you see that he was primarily responsible for that war becoming what it did,
People
becoming
say that
something
Churchill
other
did put a lot
than
of
an invasion
gasoline
of
on
Poland.
that. He did.
Your response.
Well, he wasn't even prime
dragged
minister
us into it.
until May 1940. The invasion of Poland took place in September 1940.
Wasn't he kinda like a general?
And when Hitler invaded the Low Countries
He was definitely a
and
warmonger.
unleashed blitzkrieg in the West. Churchill wasn't even prime minister until later that same day. So he can't be blamed for that. He certainly can't be blamed for Hitler's decision to attack in the West, because that was taken months beforehand with Hitler's major generals. And so that falls at the first hurdle. As far
So
as
the
I'm concerned.
basic premise for his claim that Churchill was somehow more villainous is undone
ludicrous.
by reality.
It's ludicrous, undone actually by chronology, because of course Hitler was listening to his generals and giving orders to his generals, and Winston Churchill at the time was First Lord of the Admiralty. He was in charge of the Royal Navy and had nothing to do with these decisions.
Is there any suggestion, backed by anything that has remote credibility, that
so he was
Hitler
in the
only
military.
intended originally to invade Poland, and then the escalation was
So
created by
military to prime
provocation?
minister is crazy.
None whatsoever, no. There was no provocation. There was the phony war in which nothing happened in that 9-month period. And what he always wanted to do was to knock the Western countries out of the war, so as to be able to concentrate entirely on the thing that he had always wanted to do throughout his career, which was to win Lebensraum in the East by invading Russia.
Let's play a second clip. This is where Cooper argues that Hitler became obsessed with persuading Britain not to continue the war after Dunkirk.
Now there has
British
been like letters and recordings by Hitler that says he was trying to engage with peace on certain times. Yeah, they were trying to he was trying to be peaceful allegedly with certain countries, but they just wasn't hearing him out. And there was certain propaganda that was just painting the entire German people as well.
You're exactly right.
Super
Seth.
predators.
As the tension was rising, Hitler tried to circumvent the imminent war.
Yeah.
Have escaped Dunkirk. There's no British force left on the continent. There's no opposing force left on the continent. In other words, the war is over, and the Germans won. And throughout that summer,
That's good, Steph.
Adolf Hitler is firing off radio broadcasts, giving speeches, literally sending planes over to drop leaflets over London and other British cities, trying to get the message to these people that Germany does not want to fight you. Like, we don't want to fight you. Offering peace proposals that, it said, you keep all your overseas colonies. We don't want any of that. We want Britain to be strong. The world needs Britain to be strong. Churchill wanted a war. He wanted to fight Germany.
Man, shoot.
Churchill went out.
And if you wonder why, then you'd have to question who was funding Churchill,
Bro.
what his incentive was to getting in the war.
And if you look in back in the old days in America's news and newspapers, Germany was being painted as some straight up villains before we even went to war with them.
The propaganda in the West in general, UK and the United States, was very strong, very anti-Adolf, very anti-social, nationalist,
socialism, all that good
yeah.
stuff.
So we didn't have a good concept of Germany.
Yeah, the only concept we had of it is what the Zionist news gave us.
What's up, Gerard?
Out of his ways to try and avoid the
Hey
Second
man, what's
World
good
War.
with you?
He warned against Germany. He warned that
Man,
you had to be
supporter
strong
and
against
member.
that of
Appreciate
Hitler.
you,
man.
But the idea that he was some
Let us see
warmonger
it.
is something that Goebbels said.
We got
and,
all
David
supporters in here
Irving,
right
and
now,
very
man.
few
Like the video.
other
It's gonna be a
serious
fire
people,
stream, y'all.
Apart from this Mr. Cooper figure.
There's the famous Neville Chamberlain peace in our time moment, of course, before it all erupts. Is that indicative that Hitler genuinely wanted any kind of peace, or was
No. He even at the
Yep.
time he laughed.
That's what we was just talking about, bro.
Chamberlain's back and sneered at him and ridiculed him.
Let's play the third clip. In choosing to continue the war after Hitler tried to sue for peace, Cooper says that Churchill was committing rank terrorism because he didn't have the means to re-invade Europe.
He was literally, by 1940, sending firebomb fleets, sending bomber fleets to go firebomb the Black Forest. Just rank terrorism, starting to, what eventually became just the carpet bombing, the saturation bombing of civilian neighborhoods, to kill, the purpose of which was to kill as many civilians as possible.
Your response to that, Andy?
God
Again,
damn.
complete rubbish. We did have the means to fight back. We had the greatest navy in the world. We were starting to blockade Germany.
Now, according to a lot of people, y'all didn't really have much of a navy, but y'all did have all the bombers, though. So when he says, oh, yeah, we weren't in a vulnerable position, I'm like, yeah, you were. Y'all was in a vulnerable position, all right, to the point where Churchill had to get the Allies involved.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason why the Allies got involved is because, Churchill kind of yanked them on into there with the help of, Zionist media.
Ooh, Cook.
fighting on the North African littoral.
What's going on, Green Bean?
As well, the idea that
Who literally
the war should just
invented the
end
term
because
Nazi.
Hitler has decided that he's won. What he hasn't done is
I ain't ready for
disgorge
that part.
Poland.
Ooh,
And that was the reason we
Cook.
went to war in the first place. So there is absolutely no evidence to back up these accusations.
Isn't it right that Britain had given Poland effective guarantees that if they were attacked, we would defend them?
Yes, on the 1st of April 1939, we gave a guarantee to Poland. And if we hadn't stuck up for that and actually seen that through, it would have been a complete humiliation and very dishonourable, actually, on the part of Britain.
I've had lots of people, because of the Israel-Hamas war, on the Israeli side, citing some of the things that Churchill did in World War II as evidence from their side that what they're doing in Gaza is not dissimilar. And they cite in particular what happened with Dresden, for example, where 25 to 30,000 people were effectively incinerated by a bombing campaign in 24 hours. What do you think when you hear comparisons like that? And was Dresden, as many claim, a war crime, do you think?
I don't believe Dresden was a war crime, no. It was the nodal point by which, through which, it was a great railway centre, the Germans were trying to bring forces from the west to fight in the east. It was tragic, of course, the fact that the German Gauleiter there didn't put up any air raid shelters in the previous 4 years of war. But that wasn't Churchill's fault either.
What I was told about the defence for what happened in Dresden was that if there was the capability by the German military to defend itself, as it was established that there was, that is then a legitimate place to attack in a war. Is that right?
Well, exactly. Of course it is. And under the laws of war, which obviously back in the Second World War, slightly different than the ones today, especially as the Germans had already attacked Warsaw, Rotterdam, London, of course, by the time of Dresden as well.
Yeah, nah, for real though, all Hitler wanted was, well, to bring back bring back Germany. He wanted to rebuild Germany from the losses of World War I when they pretty much destroyed their entire economy with the reparations. And then Hitler comes along and fixes that. Now there's other reporters saying that he was backed by billionaires in America, but let's just go into the fact that yes, Hitler through his leadership did bring up Germany. He made their economy stronger.
He was a nationalist at his core.
Yeah, a nationalist at his core. Now, despite what he did outside of that, he was a good leader for his people. We can agree on that. Now,
at that time, respectively, yes.
Yes. Bro, they held the Olympics when they was in power.
He's Man of the Year on Time Magazine.
Bro, he met with Jesse Owens when he won, when other white countries wouldn't shake his hand.
He was getting more racist treatment over here in America, honestly.
Man.
He was treated like the athlete and the low-key, the respectable man he was in Germany.
Ain't that crazy?
Funny enough.
The whole strategic sense was different about what you could do and what you couldn't do in aerial combat.
Basically.
Let's go to the next clip. This is the fourth. He says, Cooper, that Churchill's whole plan was to drag America into the war, which was a craven, ugly way to fight a war. Let's watch.
Just the extent of media operations, propaganda operations, everything that they were running in the United States to eventually drag us into that war. And that was his whole plan. His whole plan was we don't have a way to fight this war ourselves. This war's over.
The whole plan was
we need
dogpile
either
on
the Soviet
Germany.
Union or the United States to do it for us, and that was the plan. And kept the war going long enough for that plan to come to fruition. And to me, that's just it's a crazy
bury them with propaganda
ugly
and
way to
make everybody hate them.
It does seem quite bizarre that he would say that the way we perpetrated the defense against the Nazis was an ugly, craven way to fight a war, given that Hitler was literally executing a Holocaust of millions and millions of people.
Well, and also that we'd won the Battle of Britain, of course, by...
Due to YouTube guidelines, we are not allowed to give you our personal opinions on those. Or not even personal opinions, but the factual matters of those situations. You ain't gonna call us Holocaust deniers.
Exactly.
No, it happened. It happened. We're just gonna have to leave it at that.
Make sure to check out our Rumble, though.
Yeah, if you want the truth.
For the alternate opinion on
Would he
that.
prefer
What's up,
us
Linda?
Not to have won the Battle of Britain.
Hey.
Of course, we needed to stay in that war. because apart from anything else, Churchill later on knew that Hitler was going to invade Russia, which was going to alter everything. But to criticise Churchill for trying to so-called drag America into the war, it was Hitler who actually declared war against America on the 11th of December 1941, 4 days after Pearl Harbor. Had nothing to do with Churchill at all.
Number 5, Churchill's motivation was mostly personal, says Cooper. He says he was a psychopathic, mean, childish drunk.
Yep, that Bolshevik
part of it
regime.
was probably
You're
kind of
right,
personal.
Gerard. A
You
lot of
know,
people
he
don't know
wanted
about that.
redemption. He wanted to go out there and like
You wanna
prove
talk
that
about a
he's
real
the
Holocaust.
warlord that they can go out
Or
there and
another
fight this big
Holocaust.
war.
Yeah.
And part of it, I read about Churchill.
Try to make YouTube
He's
friend. Let's
a
try.
psychopath.
Another Holocaust.
But he's also a sort of, I mean, he was a drunk. He was very childish in strange ways.
I mean, Churchill's a psychopath. I mean, I think he doesn't actually know what a psychopath is. A psychopath, I've interviewed psychopaths, literally.
Well, if you actually heard some of Churchill's rhetoric towards German people, you would consider him a psychopath. I would be like, bro, what's your deal with these people to where you feel like since you can't beat them, you got to get dogpile on them. And then, well, Zionist media back then ain't help at all. Like I said, it was a complete villainization of an entire group of people.
Maximum security prisons in America. A psychopath is somebody completely genetically devoid of the ability
we
to
doing
show
good,
empathy
Linda.
or
We doing
compassion
well.
or any of those things.
We
Churchill
just
had
getting
all
this
those
stream
in spades.
cooked up for the late night
he had
side.
great
Appreciate you
friends,
tuning in,
he had
though.
a very happy marriage. He wrote 37 books. He won the Nobel Prize.
Yep,
for
get the likes up,
literature.
man. Double
This is a
tap the
man,
screen.
Of course, who had enormous
Appreciate you,
empathy.
Glitch.
He was somebody who could speak to crowds, but also individuals tremendously well. He was the exact opposite. The precise opposite of a psychopath.
He did like a drink.
Yes, he did.
He liked a cigar and he liked a drink. He used to, if you watch the movies about Churchill, he seems to spend
Stayed
most of
with
his
a
time
cigar.
drinking from breakfast till night.
Well,
is that a fair reflection?
He drank at lunchtime and at dinner, and he had a rhinocerine capacity for alcohol.
He's a
one of the
drunk.
people who knew him well, the journalist C.P. Snow, said that Churchill couldn't have been an alcoholic because no alcoholic could have drunk that much.
Wait, what?
The fact is,
Oh, it was
yes,
a
he could
joke. It
drink
was
alcohol.
they're joking.
Okay.
Her
Fascinating
joking.
this, in the whole of the Second World
Cool,
War,
cool,
6
cool. I
years
thought
of
it
the
was being a
Second
little
World War,
bit.
He was only actually drunk once when one
Yes, ma'am.
considers.
Thank you
that
very
was in
much.
March 1944. When considers the unbelievable pressures and the strains and stresses he must have been under, it was truly extraordinary.
The final clip I want to play you, this is where Kuba suggests that Churchill may have been blackmailed by
Yeah, he
financiers
was.
into supporting Zionism.
You read stories
Into it
about
now.
Churchill going bankrupt and needing money, getting bailed out by people who shared his interests, in terms of Zionism, but also his hostility. I think he was, to an extent, put in place by people, the financiers, by a media complex that wanted to make sure that he was the guy who was representing Britain in that conflict.
What did you make of what he said there?
Utter conspiracy theory nonsense. And also pretty
Utter
dark,
conspiracy.
I'm afraid. The idea of Zionist financiers was a dog whistle as far as I was concerned. It's simply not true. He never went bankrupt. He was helped out in 1929 by a friend who was not a Zionist. He was a Jewish financier, but he wasn't a Zionist, Bernie Baruch. But that was 4 years before Hitler came to power. And also, he had a great friend who left him a lot of money in his will, which obviously, at one point he talks about Churchill being bribed. Well, you're not bribing somebody if you give them money in your will, because there's nothing you can get out of it, is there? The whole thing.
It's kind of crazy that the Atlantic also kind of confirmed that, Churchill started in 1938 nearly bankrupt. You know what's crazy? When did Hitler make that speech that talked about the J-word problem? In 1939. So bro entered in this whole situation broke. And this is by the Atlantic. Actually, other sources confirms it as well. So, yeah. Let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest.
Profoundly unpleasant accusation, essentially. And also the idea that media interests were at stake.
CNBC
Actually, most of the media
said.
was opposed to Winston Churchill until he became Prime Minister.
Right. We're going to have some other quotes pertaining more to the free speech part of this debate, but just in totality, do you think it was a right thing for Tucker to platform this guy?
No.
given the attention it's had.
Okay.
Well, if he's only interested in the attention, then I suppose in and of itself that might.
And we got 200 plus of y'all in here, man. Let's like the video. Let's get more people in on the conversation. Today we're going in on World War II and the border crisis, man. So double tap that screen, 3 dots up there. Let's go.
Appreciate y'all.
But as far as an historian is concerned and historical truth is concerned, and the idea about what genuinely happened in the past, which is, of course, as a historian, all I'm interested in, this man certainly doesn't deserve any attention whatsoever.
No,
let's
very
bring
true,
in,
Roland.
two other
Very
guests,
true.
Dave Smith and Seth Dillon. Dave, you said on X, I'm halfway through this. This was the interview. This is just perfect.
That's why I can
Darryl-
respect any historian or anybody who knows anything about history and has the courage to get up here and say some things that alternate from what we know, what we've been taught, because it does take a great degree of courage. And you do have to know your history, regardless of if you agree with what the man says or not. So I think that it, sheds light on an alternate perspective, and a lot of people need that. It helps you think critically about some of the stuff that we've been told.
Nah, for real. And bro, there's been a lot of letters that have been written to people. Like Hitler wrote a lot of letters to people that never got aired.
They suppressed the hell out of it
Because it ruins the ideology that, he was just a warmongering. Like, he was a warmongering savage, when, he was, if you read these letters, he's over here like, come on, bro, I don't want to do this with y'all. I'm not trying to fight y'all. Can we please just negotiate peace? And he wrote letters like this to 4 or 5 different countries.
And even us, we kind of went into the German guy with a mustache AI speech, right? And uncovered it, translated it, and it kind of went into some of his real views, some of his real thoughts. He didn't hate anybody. Well, allegedly, supposedly.
Reportedly.
Cooper is a national treasure and must be protected at all costs. Given what we've just heard from the most eminent Churchill historian, arguably in the world, and I commend you to read Andrew's books if you haven't, would you like to stand by or withdraw your enthusiastic endorsement of this national treasure?
I will stand by it. And just to be clear,
what
I was sharing was not the interview. That's not the tweet that you're looking at. I was sharing a 30-minute response.
I appreciate y'all, man. We literally do it for y'all.
I'm sorry. Okay. So just to be clear, what was your view of the interview itself?
We do got an RFK interview in the
I
queue.
thought it was great. Overall, I thought it was a great interview. I did think that there were a few pieces in there where Darryl could have been clearer, and I think he was in the follow-up 30-minute, which it seems clear to me that both of you guys have not listened to. I would highly recommend you go check it out. Darryl is absolutely brilliant. I think these comparisons to Irving are totally unfair. I think the accusation that he was making a dog whistle is unfair. There have been lots of people who have had let's say alternative views on the Second World War, and that doesn't mean that you're some type of Holocaust denier or Hitler lover or anything like that, which Darryl Cooper certainly isn't. If anybody has listened to his, it's quite long, but his Fear and Loathing in the New Jerusalem, which is like a 30-hour 6-part podcast about the creation of the State of Israel. He covers the Holocaust, I wouldn't say in depth, but there's about a half hour on it. And if you go listen to it, this is just totally not somebody who is excusing the crimes of Adolf Hitler or acting as if they didn't happen or in any way does not have kind of like a profound appreciation.
Nah, bro, ain't go that far.
And I think that's important to note because nobody's apologizing for anything he did or trying to gloss over it.
Yeah. Everybody's want to set the record straight here because, we've been lied to about World War II, why America got involved, things that Churchill did. Is like, bro, we've been lied to about that. And what can I say? The victors wrote the story, and we're just now hearing the story of the defeated. Like, if you ask Germans what they thought about World War II, they got a whole lot of different, bro, it's a way different story, I promise you. And shout out Linda Thomas Bryan, man. Proud supporter, proud member. We appreciate you. $99. 99-cent super chat, man. Appreciate it so much.
For how horrible
he literally
Adolf Hitler was.
Dave, he literally says that Churchill is
Make
the
sure to like the
chief
video,
villain
guys.
of World War II.
But he also literally says, Piers, which I noticed you cut out of the clip, that I'm being a bit hyperbolic
First
when I
super
say
chat of
this.
the show, I'd like to
Listen
add.
Well, okay,
Appreciate
but still,
that, Linda.
that's worth mentioning.
Hitler,
And look,
Churchill, this guy's the chief villain? Really?
Yes, listen,
And the guy that says that is a national treasure? Dave Smith?
Well, hold on. Again, Piers,
Well,
I'd
yeah.
highly recommend you go listen to the clip of what I was posting.
Oh, I
What
will.
he's- what-
No,
what-
I will. But I just based purely on the fact that the interview with Tucker went so humongously viral. I think it's legitimate to just debate that. I will go look at what you're talking about because I'm interested to see what he
Yes,
says.
okay, but just to be clear, he says,
him cleaning things up afterwards is another thing. What he said in real
Well, I don't-
time to Tucker is something different. And the premise of his whole debate with Tucker, it wasn't even a debate, it was an interview. The whole premise was that Churchill was the real bad guy, not Adolf Hitler or Stalin.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Again, at what Darryl says in the interview is, look, I'm being a little hyperbolic here,
Stalin
but I
was
look at
also a bad
Churchill as
guy.
the true villain, and he didn't kill the most people. He isn't directly responsible for the most atrocities, but here's why. And so, again, I would just say it's not as if Darryl Cooper is walking back what he said there, but if you go listen to the follow-up piece he put out, he's explaining where he's coming from.
Yeah, but but Dave, do you personally think that Churchill was the real villain then?
Oh no, I'm trying to convince people that it was all Woodrow Wilson's fault. I'm not trying to put the blame on Churchill here.
Hey.
No, I mean, look,
that is
I
facts.
think that-
Woodrow Wilson did fall for that propaganda that went and flew us over there. Like, I'm gonna be real, we did not have to get involved in that.
Facts.
It's like we gained nothing from getting involved in World War II. The only thing we did was lose soldiers. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, this was, well, I ain't gonna lie, those guys' problems on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. Like, bro, y'all handle that, man.
And we at least an atrocity on humankind.
Man, low key, we did.
That nuclear bomb, bro.
We got in off the Zionist propaganda that all Germans are bad. They want to destroy the world. They're anti-Semitic and they hate everybody. They're nationalists. Like, well, for some reason, being nationalist is evil.
Yeah, I don't really understand that perspective. I really don't. Like, I'm America first. I'm American nationalist. Does that make me a bad guy?
Yeah, it's like, he's the leader of Germany. I mean, it makes sense that he's Germany first.
Shit, look at Putin. I mean,
It makes
that's why his
sense.
approval rating is so high in Russia, because he puts Russia above all else.
Man.
But appreciate you, Gerard, man, always showing support. One of the supporters, one of the members, man. Shout out to you, Gerard. We appreciate it. Double Don DeMarco for you, bro. Great show. Appreciate it.
The greatest villains of the 20th century, there's an overwhelming case that the top three would be Hitler, Stalin, and Mao.
Right.
However, I think that in terms of like who did the
Woodrow
most
Wilson
evil.
also inciting
However, the
Federal Reserve?
question that I think is a fairly important one to ask is, were there blunders and were there atrocities committed on other sides of that war or on the other side of that war? And I think that World War II is objectively kind of the worst thing that ever happened in
This
human
man, Woodrow Wilson, was a complete bro. He signed the Federal Reserve also and sent us into World War II.
He was a Zionist.
Oh my God! Yep, it was. Yep.
history. And I think that 80 years later, we should be able to kind of have some of these discussions about what mistakes were made. Did it need to go as bad as it went? Look, I'm not saying a lot of these claims rely on counterfactuals that are not falsifiable. They're not provable. We don't know if the Nazis had been put down when they first started reconstituting their military. Perhaps that would have made things go way better than they ultimately went. At the same time, I think there's a very, very strong argument that handing a war guarantee to Poland was a blunder of enormous proportion that took the war power ability out of Britain and handed it to these Polish colonels, all in the name of defending Poland, which ultimately got destroyed in the war and then got handed to Joseph Stalin for many decades after that. So I think there's a real interesting question of history there.
All right, I'm going to bring Seth in one moment. I just saw you furiously shaking your head, Andrew. So,
well, first,
on that point.
First of all, on that point, Winston Churchill wasn't even in the cabinet in April 1939 when that guarantee to Poland
But was that
given.
guarantee, as Dave says, was that a mistake?
No, because after the Rhineland, after Anschluss, after the Sudetenland, you had to have a tripwire to actually go into war with him.
Okay, let me bring in Seth. If you're ready. Sure, Dave, respond to that. That's okay.
Well, look, nobody, including me or Darryl Cooper, was claiming that Winston Churchill was the one who made that call. It's just a question of, you go, look, the outcome of making that call was about as bad as it possibly could have been.
Because of Adolf Hitler.
Well, sure. No, nobody is arguing, including Darryl. Nobody's arguing Adolf Hitler doesn't have responsibility for the Second World War. The question is, this is almost like on the level, if I were to say that that George W. Bush and Dick Cheney were the great villains of the war in Iraq, that's not an endorsement of Saddam Hussein. That's not to suggest that he wasn't a brutal dictator. It's just to say, was this the right decision? Did this make things much worse?
Trying to say that Churchill didn't have a position.
Did it make things better?
Did.
In the case of World War II, we don't know what all of the potential outcomes could have been. It's pretty hard to envision a war.
Churchill definitely had influence back then in 1939. Like, what is he talking about?
He's trying to make it seem he served as First Lord of Admiralty, actually.
Yeah, so what are you talking about, Churchill?
Before his role as Prime Minister.
Yeah, but he still had influence even then. So, come on now. Let's be real here.
And his stance has always been pro-war.
And you know what's crazy? He was Prime Minister in 1939. Now, in 1939, this is when, like I said, Hitler made that speech. And then maybe like 6 months later, World War II kicked off. After that, that's when he became prime minister. Yes, he was prime minister during World War II, like right when it kicked off, pretty much. Why when, I guess, Hitler made his aggressions.
And thinking about it, like, you have to jockey and campaign for that position before you get into office. It's not just handed to you.
Yeah.
So I think that he wasn't involved in politics leading up to that is kind of silly.
And made no leadership decisions.
Come on,
trust him to be prime minister.
It's silly.
Come on.
You can't just hop in president of the United States. You got a political background.
I actually would say there's a very good argument.
Or a leadership background.
Right. You was already calling the shots somewhere before you stepped in
that
there.
Iraq war. It was illegal.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. We got almost 400 of y'all in here, man. Quick pause for the cause. Go ahead and like the video. Double tap the screen, or you can hit the 3 buttons in the upper right hand corner, man. It's going to be a fire stream, so go ahead and like it up. Let's get some more folks in here.
Let's go.
It caused utter mayhem. It wasn't even successful, really, in terms of the immediate aftermath onwards. But to try and equate the Iraq War, which was a war fought against Saddam Hussein's Iraq based on a completely false premise that he had weapons of mass destruction, with Adolf Hitler and the Nazis and their ideological global campaign to eradicate anyone they didn't like, which led to 12 million people.
Man, y'all want to talk about forever wars, man? Y'all want to talk about industrial complex, military industrial complex? Man, this shit stems back almost as far as 100 years almost. Almost 100 years. The West, America specifically, has been on this shit, getting involved for interests that don't lie with the people's interest.
Murdered, including 6 million Jews in gas chambers.
For our financiers' interest.
People are trying to say that this is just criticism of Churchill, and that criticism of Churchill is not Hitler apologism or endorsement of Hitler or something like that, or downplaying him. But the two are actually linked together. You can't vilify Churchill as the chief villain, whether it's hyperbolic or not, of World War II without ignoring or downplaying Hitler's own aggression, his own intentions, his own statements, the actions he had already taken up to that point. You can't accomplish that vilification without downplaying those things. So whether he specifically goes out there and explicitly says, you know what, I'm kind of a fan of
Appreciate
Hitler.
all y'all tuning in, man. Double tap the screen if you're in here.
That kind of sympathetic downplaying
get the likes
of some
up.
of the things that Hitler had said and done. And then if you also go and look at, the excuse that he's not a Hitler apologist, he's got this 30-hour long podcast or whatever you should go listen to. I don't really have time for that, but I have looked at his Twitter. I have looked at his posts. He's described himself as a fascist. He puts up side-by-side photos of Hitler after having invaded France, standing in front of the Eiffel Tower with his Nazi soldiers next to him. And he puts that side-by-side with the drag display that happened at the Paris Olympics. And he says what happened.
Yes, ma'am. We got another super chat from Linda. We appreciate that support. She ain't had too much to say, but she's a member and a full supporter of the channel. We appreciate that, Linda.
Happened in France.
Shout out. Y'all go like her
Hitler
super
with
chat.
That invasion was infinitely preferable to what just happened.
Special
at the
shout
Paris
out to the
Olympics.
members, man.
Hitler went into France,
Sankey Media
invaded,
Army.
was there occupying for years, and sent all the Jews to ovens to be burned and killed. I mean, like, to suggest that that's infinitely preferable to an offensive display at the Olympics is wild. It's outrageous. And so it goes to a number of his other tweets. You know, you can go really deep in there. He describes himself as a fascist. He posts these things about Hitler, and they're usually pretty sympathetic to Hitler. Over and over and over again, they're sympathetic. He said that this was, I think Dave said this too, the worst possible outcome was the Allies
12s.
winning this war.
Yeah, them 12s ain't no fun.
That's
Trust
completely
me.
outrageous.
Gotta pay them bills though.
That's not what I said. But, I mean, come on,
clarify
that's
what
not
you said.
I
Gotta
said.
get that money.
That's what he
I
said.
said-
I'm quoting him.
That's what Cooper said, Darryl Cooper.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said that was what I said. No,
I got a 12 coming up on
Like you
Wednesday.
said,
Wish me luck.
it sounded like you echoed him that this is the worst possible outcome. That's what I heard you say. If that's wrong,
No,
correct
what
me.
I'm saying is that the biggest bloodbath in human history, where I think something like 25 to 30 million civilians were killed. Of course, the Holocaust.
Yeah, man, appreciate the support. Appreciate the support in the
raping
chat.
of Stalin's army all the way through Europe.
Really do, man. We do it for y'all.
Absolute destruction of Europe, and not just.
And honestly, I love that you guys love this type of content because this is what I'm drawn to. Set is drawn to the most. Is kind of like this exposure of the facts and the history that they didn't teach us, they didn't tell us growing up. Like, this is the shit that we love diving into. So to see it interest you guys and to see that you guys like this type of content as well, man, it it really is something special for me. It's like, I love learning about this. You guys love it. So it's like two birds, one stone for me. Like, we're learning together almost, or we're going on in this journey together.
Europe, but because
everybody should know about this shit.
I think that is a pretty bad
Even if you
outcome.
can
I'm not saying that I wish
compare it to what they did tell us and make your own decision on what is true, what should be believed, form your own perspective. I'd rather that than them just, purport one side of history and there's a whole other side none of us got to learn.
Nazis had won. And just a couple points on this. Number one, just to your point, Piers, I was not equating the war in Iraq to World War II. I'm just talking. It was a logical analogy. I'm just saying the logic of saying that George W. Bush and Dick Cheney were the villains does not mean that you therefore support Saddam Hussein.
No, I understood
and
that.
as far as
I'm gonna link the Rumble in the chat. We have somebody.
My question for you.
Somebody's
Dave,
listed a special documentary that we've covered on our Rumble.
Dave, my question for you would be, how would you have tackled Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, given their ideology, given their military might, given their intent was declared very clearly with the invasion of Poland? What would you have done?
I'd have said, knock it off. In a real aggressive voice, I'd say, "You knock it off."
I'm gonna link the Rumble right now for y'all.
Isn't the reality? The world was facing a genuinely existential threat.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no question about that. No, look, my real, as I said before, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but I kind of mean it too, my real dog in this fight is to blame Woodrow Wilson. I think that the mistake was getting involved in World War I. I think that World War I was looking like it was headed toward a stalemate. America got...
And as Set just read aloud on stream, he's the one that signed us into the Federal Reserve as well.
Involved, and then forced the unconditional surrender of the Germans, imposed the Treaty of Versailles. I think that's kind of what set the table for World War II ultimately to happen. Look, what happened in World War II happened. I don't know how things would be different if things had... Huh?
I said some people did some things.
Sure. Okay. Listen, all I'm saying is that the logic of saying that if you're
critical Gerard, you're
of
right,
Winston
bro. I have
Churchill,
heard them
or if
say
you're
bring the
critical
joy
of
back.
FDR, or if you're critical of
We're injecting joy.
Also would be but I'm just saying the logic.
Damn, I would have never made that connection.
You're downplaying Hitler. It just simply does not follow.
Well, actually, I don't agree with you, because if you
I could
actually
admit that
say
myself.
as
That
a
was
statement of fact that the chief villain of the Second World War is Winston Churchill, and you don't say it was Hitler.
good
I'm
analysis.
afraid
not
what you are doing, as Seth said earlier, what you are doing, Dave, you are downplaying just how evil Hitler was, because you're saying that this other guy who defended us against him was worse.
Let me get a word in here, because there's also the issue of what's not being said, because you can suggest did he actually say anything that was sympathetic to Hitler? Well, some of it was what he didn't say. In that conversation, there was no mention of the Holocaust. There was no mention of Hitler's genocidal intentions in a conversation that was meant to determine who the chief villain of World War II was. No mention of those things. How's that justifiable?
Well, I mean, Seth, I just want everybody who's watching this to just appreciate for a moment that I'm sitting here and saying, hey, listen, this guy spent a half hour of this long podcast series that he did covering the Holocaust. He just put out around a half hour kind of statement about all the controversy of the last 2 weeks. Everybody on the show here has not listened to it. And then Seth goes, yeah, I'm not going to listen to all of that, but I will find these obscure tweets. So all I'm saying is that if you want to listen to this guy talking about the horrors of the Holocaust, he is out there on record. Listen to it and tell me if this sounds like a guy who's downplaying the horrors.
Hang on, Dave, hang on. How long was this interview with Tucker Carlson? It was like 2 hours or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in
Something
2
like that.
house, you don't get into the Holocaust as you're trying to depict
Not even
Winston
mentioned.
Churchill.
I
Not even mentioned.
As you're trying to depict Winston Churchill as the real villain of the war. I mean, come on.
I think
guy's a
that's a
national
reasonable.
as well.
That's a reasonable critique, and that I think I would.
Yeah, you're right about that. And the tampons in the men's restrooms is wild. But what's even more wild is the fact that my man signed a law that banned conversion therapy.
Yeah, so pretty much like, okay, so you can convert my kid into being gay, but I can't try to send my kid to conversion therapy to make him.
No.
Yo, that's
He
crazy.
signed a bill that supported gender affirming care.
So how is that fair then? So one side can do the indoctrination, but the other side can't?
Bro, full agenda, pro LGBTQ. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. But what about the people who aren't pro? Like, we shouldn't feel alienated. Like, and it's not like we're anti or we hate them, but like, no, we just don't want that pushed on our peoples.
Man, look, just because they got
emotional damage
don't mean we gotta share it with them, man.
And our kids.
Wish Tucker had asked him a little bit more of that, and I wish he had gotten into some of the stuff he got on this other 30-minute explanation
I think his
of it that I was
tweets are a
talking
reasonable
about.
critique too. Do you agree with his tweets that are sympathetic to Hitler and calling himself a fascist?
I would. I wouldn't agree with those tweets. I didn't post them. I also don't really believe. Like, if you could imagine, so like as somebody who has consumed hours and hours and hours of his content, I'm not like hanging him over one tweet that he sent that I think was like, yeah, again, being very hyperbolic and I don't think was really landed. But I will say this, if anybody is interested in hearing more from Darryl Cooper or getting to know why I do consider him to be a national treasure, I'm having an interview with him the day after tomorrow on my show, Part of the Problem. I think that the caricature that's being painted of him.
So my mic was accidentally muted, y'all. But I was saying that it was funny that Tim Walz signed in a bill that banned conversion therapy in his state, Minnesota, and signed a bill in the law that fully supported gender-affirming care for anybody who questioned their gender. Wild as hell.
Him is not really indicative of who he is and not indicative of why it is that we find him to be such a
I just look at what he says and the subjects he avoids.
Be
I look
part
at
of
what
the
he
problem,
says.
Dave Smith. But I want to come to Seth because you got into it with Tucker Carlson in private text messages over this interview. What was that about?
Well, he came at me because I had mocked his response to Cooper in this interview, right? There was a lot of criticism being published in the media about Cooper's views in particular. And then Tucker, just nodding along and agreeing. Tucker praised this guy as like the greatest historian and scholar, that he's ever heard from. And this is the guy that you got to listen to. He's the authority on this. And then gave him a very soft interview. We didn't push back on any of this stuff. Tucker didn't bring up the Holocaust.
Looks like some good content over there on Zoomer History. Appreciate that.
And I mocked that, and he got
link,
kind of
Gerard.
upset about that and reached out to me to basically accuse me of, not basically, but literally accuse me of slandering him as a Nazi. I'm like, I never called you a Nazi. I just said you went soft on a Hitler apologist. That's all that I said. And then he tried to he made a statement on Charlie Kirk's show, which was not accurate. It wasn't true. Suggesting that I had come at him privately to denounce the fact that he had platformed this person. And I never did that. All I did was explain that if you're going to platform this person and not push back on them, then why would you be surprised by the backlash that you get? Because
Make
he's
sure to
saying
like the
some
video.
outrageous things, and you're
Double tap
basically
the
agreeing
screen.
with it and going along with it. So I did not suggest that he should have been platformed. In fact, my opinion on this is one that
stolen
is
valor as
a very
well,
strong
right?
free speech position. These kinds
And
of
Gerard
voices
is
should
actually
be heard. We
a
need
veteran,
to get these ideas
so-
out there and discuss them, and they should be refuted or they can be ridiculed. I don't advocate for censorship. I never suggested that Tucker
Extra
shouldn't have platformed
disrespectful.
Cooper in the first place. I think Cooper should do all the interviews possible, and let's hear his ideas and let's respond to them. And the bigger point, because Tucker tried to suggest that I was encouraging censorship and that these people who are pushing back are encouraging censorship. No, the responses to Cooper's claims, the responses have primarily been focused on Cooper's claims and Tucker's handling of Cooper's claims. And that is a contribution to the discussion, not an attempt to end the discussion. The responses that are happening, the objections that they're receiving are not an effort to silence anyone or deplatform anyone or end the discussion. It's part of the discussion.
Hilarious.
So
Is
to act
it?
like, oh, I'm being censored or oh, I'm being canceled because there's a backlash. This is it's a tactic. It's a playbook now that they're using where these people on the right will come out with these provocative statements. They'll generate some backlash or some objections, and then they'll say, oh, look, the objections mean I'm being canceled or that this is a forbidden topic or that there must be some truth here because look at how hysterical they are. Well, some people just care about the truth and want to discuss it, and they're contributing to that conversation. That's it.
Let me bring Andrew back in here. He said several things about historians and the way that they've been using stuff about World War II.
You're going to have taboos. You're going to have
Yeah, you're right,
certain
Linda.
ways
Sometimes
that
I just,
certain topics have to be talked about that are going to
Shows
guarantee
like that's
that
ruining the quality of the conversation.
that topic is just profoundly misunderstood. Like we're going to get to a point where
I like when people expose their
the interwar
dumbassery.
period and the Second World War are far enough away that people can actually start taking a more honest look at everything that went on. And it is going to be the most fruitful place that any aspiring historian can dive into because we've spent the last 70 years, I mean, in Europe's case, like literally throwing people in jail for looking into the wrong corners. That whenever that's the
He was
case,
in the military and respect to all vets, but nobody respects a vet who lies about their position, their rank, what they did.
Yeah.
Nobody respects that.
Man, who can?
So shout out to his service, but man, be honest.
when you try to add any type of
Wasn't built
balance
like that.
to the
Man.
account, it's going to look like you're trying
You in them
to
fields, boy?
justify those other things.
Only got a lot
Andrew,
of
your
meat.
response to that?
Well, in a way, of course, he's right. The more light that one sees, the more
Yes.
documents you go to, the more archives that you work in, the better it should be if you're approaching it from a objective way. But remarks such as he made earlier about Zionist financiers bribing Winston Churchill, there just is no evidence for this at all. And also,
Why would there be?
shows a profound misunderstanding of the kind of person that Winston Churchill was. So
I mean-
I'm afraid I do say, yes, of course, you know, with free speech, everybody should be able to say something.
Yeah.
But why Mr. Carlson chose
What do you mean? There's like actually, if you check bro's bank records, you could pretty much, bro, they'll tell you that yeah, he was getting finance from somewhere. Like
And there was reports that
he lived
this
a very
man,
lavish life, but he was getting a politician's salary. Like he can live okay, but he wasn't supposed to be living that night. Like bro had servants,
maids, mansions, bro.
Like what?
come on now.
Bro, there's no way he was getting that from his salary as a politician. There's just, come on now,
It
that
doesn't
don't
add
happen.
up.
Like he was your modern day Nancy Pelosi.
this
Tammy Walls.
this really
Nah,
very,
his walls are
very
broke.
low rate
Well,
historian
you're right,
to,
you're right.
interview at such length over such issues seems bizarre to me.
I mean, Dave Smith, if, and I absolutely, by the way, would
Yeah,
bow
Walls
to
doesn't live
Andrew's
luxurious either, I
historical
guess.
knowledge on this particular
If he did, he
subject
wouldn't
matter,
be
as
going
big
to
security
China.
suspect any
Yeah.
other human being alive, and certainly not a man given to hyperbole. If you take what Andrew says at face value, going through point by
Walls?
point by
Yeah,
point
I heard
by
about
point
that.
by point, and it turns out that pretty much everything Darryl Cooper said in terms of his argument was based on a false reading of facts. Does that change your view of this national treasure?
Well, wait. So if everything he's saying is wrong,
Yeah.
would
I'm
that
not
change?
giving my honest
Okay,
opinion on
sure.
that. Yeah, I believe that there were certain financiers that bribed Churchill into low key perpetuating the war.
All right.
Because everybody was effed up while, let's be real, Churchill was doing good. Like the entire economy of Europe, or well, England at that time was doing terribly. And Churchill was doing all pretty good. Like, let's be real. Like when that war was starting, Churchill actually, he was doing pretty well.
Yeah, and Linda, to answer your question, I don't know. It was kind of disingenuous to do so because he could have got support by just saying he was a regular vet, but to sell a story or to hype himself up to something he wasn't, low key, you're right. If he's willing to lie about that, it kind of is telling about what else he might lie about or be willing to lie about.
Man, No, there's a lot of things that need to be brought up about walls. But
Right.
hey.
Or his $250
I
million
suppose it would.
COVID relief fund scam.
Listen, he hasn't even. They
That he
were
got subpoenaed
discussing
on?
a big piece that he's about to put out
When it's
about
called
World
Trump
War
a
II. It
criminal,
hasn't even been
a
put
scammer,
out
a
yet.
fraudster.
So certainly, when this does come out, my attitude isn't like it should be taken as gospel.
I'm just
I
saying,
think that,
too.
sure, then it should
I'm
start a
with you, Linda.
conversation. If he's getting things wrong, I think people should criticize him for that, and then we should all look into it. Look, his series on the creation of the state of Israel. It's basically from the beginning of Zionism up to 1948. Is phenomenal, and I didn't listen to any of it and then just take it as fact. It's a topic that I've read a decent amount about, and the things that he added, I went and checked all of them, or at least
You know
as
what
much
I would
as I
like?
could.
I mean, it's
I'm
a
not
shame.
arguing that.
Okay, it's a shame to me. We invited Darryl Cooper to come on uncensored.
Well, embellish or
and he
embezzle?
very respectfully, politely declined it.
same
Now it
thing,
turns out he's doing your show instead, Dave, which is
He
obviously
got a better offer.
which is
Piers.
obviously
What can you say?
particularly aggravating. But actually, the real debate I'd like to see, no offense to any of us three, but Darryl Cooper at the same time as Andrew to actually debate the reality of what happened in World War II. That is something I'd really want to see and would be very happy to host, because I do think if you're going to make really quite dramatic claims, completely changing a narrative about something as consequential and historically
That would be
important
dope.
as
That'd
World
be
War
cold
II,
if we could
as
do
Darryl
that.
Cooper's done, you've got to have someone who's
I try
literally
hard enough,
immersed
Oh,
in
man.
decades of research into it to
try
be
hard
there to
enough.
counter what you're saying. Seth?
But if Tucker likes this
I mean,
guy
like,
and wants to talk to him, then he has every
it would
right to
only
give him a
help him.
platform and have a discussion with him, and he can be as agreeable as he wants. That's
man.
that is
RFK
free
to do a
speech.
sit-down
Being
and
able to
interview
say
with
things.
you
Well,
guys,
Everybody
man.
has a right
hell
to be wrong.
yeah.
You can
It
say
would
things
help
without
him.
any evidence supporting them whatsoever. It's your opinion. You can
Man,
even
two
claim that it's
rising
fact
black
and
men
it's
in the
not your
sphere.
opinion, and you could be
Ooh,
wrong
low-key
about
be
it. You have a
dope.
right to do that. And then the responsibility is on everybody else too. If it is false or it is damaging, it is dangerous, destructive, whatever, you respond to
Not
it,
to
you
mention
refute
that I
it, you
can see it
ridicule it,
myself.
you give your own speech, add more speech to it. I really resist, the idea that there should be filtering that happens about
Shout
which
out to the
voices
mother.
are
Oh,
allowed
God.
to enter the public
What'd you say?
square. I think everybody should be allowed to have their voice in the public square. We should welcome
I heard
conversations
that.
like this. I do think Tucker should have pushed back on him more. Personally, I think he does agree with his views, and that's why he didn't. But it's a conversation for everybody else to have. To denigrate the people who are actually responding and suggest that they're trying to shut down the conversation when they're literally taking part in it is also something I
I
take
think
issue
that's
with.
a really interesting point, actually. And Dave Smith, I mean, would you
Misspoke.
agree with that? Because it seems to me what we're doing now is all part of the free speech process, right? Is that Tucker has this pretty controversial interview with a guy saying very controversial things. We're now getting
Appreciate
top
the support.
historians and top commentators like yourselves to come and debate this and talk about it and thrash it all out. What I'm pleased
Yes,
about
sir.
is that actually young people
Man.
Another $2 super chat from Miss Linda. Appreciate the support. Ain't got too much to say. Always just showing support.
Man, appreciate you, Linda.
tend to watch these
Appreciate
shows,
you, Ms. Bryan.
they're getting probably educated a lot more about World War II than they would have any knowledge of to start with. That's a good thing. And you should, of course, challenge history. Of course you should. Everything should be challenged. But it is slightly dangerous when people start as their starting point with a statement that says Churchill's worse than Hitler. And I think that is where, yeah, free speech gives him the right to say it. But it's a pretty damaging thing to fly around cyberspace in perpetuity to a lot of impressionable young minds, isn't it?
I mean,
well, okay. Again, I don't think that's exactly the statement that he made, but I do completely agree that I believe in free speech. I think that there should be much more speech on a lot of different topics that matter, and nothing really matters more than World War II. It was one of the most important and of course also awful events in human history, and so I couldn't agree with that more. I think that if Darryl has a controversial opinion and somebody thinks he's getting it right, I think he should give his opinion. Other people should call him out. I would love to see a back.
So you're telling me that, okay, it's okay to feed kids one side of history, but it's not okay to feed them the other side? Like, they can't have two opposing views?
That's what I say.
Like, wouldn't that be fair if I taught my kid, all right, let's say I'm teaching my kid what the Republican Party is. Then I also got to teach him what the Democrat Party is in a non-biased way, so they can go ahead and be a free thinker and they can decide, well, which one aligns with how I think, or how I feel. Or, my bad, or what my beliefs are. Because I don't think men should be going off feelings. And just go off with your free thinking thoughts.
back and forth. I'd love to see that debate that you were talking about, Piers. I think all of it is healthy and good. And I do think that undeniably, and part of this is for good reason, but undeniably, World War II has an energy around it that really just no other historical event has. I mean, if you could, you know, if I could sit here and say, well,
that's honestly why I feel like channels like ours are growing, get the support and the acknowledgement that we have been lately, is because like that alternative media, that alternative perspective, that unbiased based perspective on what we all see and what goes on is ever so important. As legacy media dies out and as we realize they've been low-key purporting one side of history to us, like channels like ours that are in search for the other side are important. They're critical, bro.
Like, bro, not a lot of people want to go out there and look at world news to see what other people think. Like, we just take America's point of view. Like, low-key, we take America's perspective at face value.
Yeah.
And let's relate it to this whole World War II thing. We took America's point of view, but why haven't we took the Germans' point of view? Like, what do they teach their kids? What do the Japanese teach their kids? Because these are people who are on the opposing side. And it's kind of funny how we gave, like, Germany this brutal lashing, but Japan did not catch no smoke. They got 2 bombs, but Germany got 13 million killed.
Damn.
Like, come on now.
Earlier that the U.S. never should have entered World War I. This is not going to generate a lot of controversy. There won't be a week worth of people flipping out over me saying that. If I said Vietnam or Korea or the war in Iraq or any of that, you don't get any of this. But when you talk about World War II, you do get this kind of energy. Like, it is kind of a third rail, and I don't think it should be. I think that we should have these conversations. There have been a lot of people over the years. Of course, Pat Buchanan famously wrote the book Churchill, Hitler, and the Unnecessary War. By the way, the Unnecessary War, I believe, was a Winston Churchill quote. Ironically, I think Winston Churchill's comments after the war are closer to, in some ways than at least in the middle of this debate between, you know, where you guys are. So I'm all for that. More speech always on every single issue. More speech, not less.
Let me give the final word to Andrew, our eminent historian, because there's been I think, quite an insidious little campaign in recent years to denigrate the reputation of Winston Churchill. Yes, he wins the Greatest Britain Awards and so on in the polls, and I certainly believe he deserves that. How insidious do you think it is? Does it matter? Should we be reining back at it?
I think that, yes, it is insidious. Yes, it does matter. But history is an argument without end. And, you know, it's what keeps people like me in business. But the true sort of most powerful irony.
Yes, and I see a thought, you know, generating in the comment section. And there is reports that the U.S. knew about the attack on Pearl Harbor prior to it happening. Yes. Theories circulate that we had prior knowledge and...
How the hell they flew over American airspace so far and we didn't know? I mean, to get to Hawaii, you kind of got to fly over to USA.
Well, it
or did they go around the other way?
Geographically, it's actually,
Oh, you're right. They could go around the other way.
Yeah. But still, though.
You tell me we didn't catch... Actually, we've caught other people doing that crap, though. Just going around the other way. Like, we should have been able to catch them.
So, yeah, there's theories that support the idea that that was kind of controlled and allowed.
Of all of this is that if Adolf Hitler won the Second World War and Winston Churchill hadn't, we wouldn't be having this argument. There would be no free speech. All of freedom of expression ultimately comes down to the fact that he was willing not to make peace with Hitler, but instead to extirpate Nazism.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thank you. What a fascinating debate. Thank you to Seth. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Andrew. Really appreciate it. Let's try and get the Roberts Cooper showdown sorted. I think that would be fascinating.
Nah, there is theories that was a false flag for sure. You're not tripping on that, bro.
Yeah, because hey, it's crazy to hear, but it is what it is. You want to get into the border?
Yeah, let's get right into it, dude.
All right, man. Let's get into the border crisis, man. We got an actual border patrol officer on here
in uniform, speaking about the border as we know it right now. Let's get right into it, yo.
Of COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So what happened there?
Couldn't leave the base about 8 months.
And this is in Artesia for the audience that's wondering. Artesia, New Mexico, right?
This is when Biden won, right?
I was there previous to when he won. This was May.
Okay.
I remember him winning. They had the J6 stuff while I was at the academy.
Okay. May of 2020.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
So
they create like a little mock like border wall. It's in the desert, so it's very similar. That academy, to say really good things about the Border Patrol, phenomenal academy. My first group I've worked in countless groups. It felt like it was surreal. Like being here is a little surreal. It felt like the academy. I thought they were role players. That's how good of a job. I was like, oh, this is just another situation of a role player. Okay, if the guy does X, they make it so if whatever's going to happen, you're already 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You already know. So they do a great job. It's like a little border town.
Okay.
The way they create it.
yeah, and just for the audience, just so they know,
All right, no problem.
It's a component of the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, FLETSI, but it's they have it in Artesia, New Mexico. That's specific for Border Patrol agents. So they have their own academy over there. That's huge.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
What's the starting salary, roughly?
Yeah, you'll start out
Good
at a
question.
5 if you don't have a degree, or a 7 if you have a college degree and you did okay. So you're making like 60, 70.
That's not bad.
And then it
Honest
blasts up
living.
to about 120, 130, 140, man. So you're making
Hey.
some real cash. This is why a lot of guys won't speak out, because they're fat and happy off the check, and they're just
Right, and anybody who knows anything knows that working for government comes with great, tremendous benefits. You ain't trying to lose
and
that
the longer
government
you
job.
work there, eventually you're gonna hit 6 figures. Like, bro, when it comes to criminal justice, you started at a high 5 figure, then end off in the low 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Along with those tremendous benefits, bro, you're set for life. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, it's not my problem. And they do the mental
Great industry to
gymnastics
be in,
thing, 'cause
working
you
for the
don't want-
government.
You don't get a mortgage.
Shout out criminal
Your family,
justice
everything.
majors.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary to talk out.
Or people who
You know,
want
if
to
I
go
didn't
into the
have God, I
border.
wouldn't
Yeah.
be here. And I know I'm not trying to push that. I don't want to come off like I'm trying to push God, because I didn't have God in my life. But honestly, if I didn't have God, I wouldn't really have the courage to do this, bro.
Because I remember asking you before, what made you want to do this? When you said God, I was like, okay.
That's why,
don't
bro.
know.
You know, and I'm not a perfect person. I'm a big
Because you
sinner.
just got off a yacht.
Like, I've sinned a lot in my life, man, but like I said earlier, like I gotta face God, bro. So that's why I'm here. That's what takes a lot of courage, because you're really not looking at this life. I could get crushed.
We
But
you're
in the
talking
next
about.
life is where I want to get my glory, that I stood up for the children, and I stood up and said the right thing, and I was here with you guys, and you guys were gracious enough to have me.
I'm
Thank you very
weak.
much. Seriously, it
Big
means a
on
lot
the
to
bigger
boys.
side.
I'm weak.
No, absolutely. I mean, because I came from
Hilarious.
that world, so I was like, yeah, this
Hey,
is
he
something
said
we need
fat
to pay
cats.
attention
And
to.
you're right. You're
And
fat.
I
You
think
look like a
with,
fat cat.
it being an election year, obviously the border is a very hot topic. It's probably going to be one of the biggest topics in the debate
That
tomorrow. I think the
was
American
covertly
public needs to know
racist.
what the hell is really going on in the United States, and hearing it from someone that's on the front lines,
I
that's
do enjoy
actually a
Popeyes,
current
though.
Border Patrol agent, not someone that used to do it. Even myself, I was on the border back in 2020, not now.
Occasionally.
And things have changed drastically just from me talking with you. But I guess
I
let's
prefer
kind of
churches.
fast forward. So you get out the academy, and they station you. What station are you stationed
Do you
at
mind
now?
if I just bring us back a couple things?
Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead.
2 things. One, you're not seeing anybody that's in the Border Patrol. You're seeing either the spokesman for the Border Patrol, the
Oh, yeah.
public information. That's that's what they want you to hear, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Every department has that.
Everything's fine. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I'm not here to talk about bad about the Border Patrol. Everyone has a
You're talking
PIO, Public Information Officer. You have that, and I forgot what I was going to say, but and then you have guys that are retired, that are on their pension. So really, no one's actually speaking, dude. No one's actually putting it out there. Like,
Yeah, you're
I'm
on the
gonna-
line. You're on the line for
Well,
real.
let's call it for what it is. You know,
Yeah.
I get a little fired up. I'm sorry, but like, there's no one else doing it.
What you mean, Linda?
Curious,
Something wrong with the
the
vid?
routine of a
Yeah, are you
Border
talking
Patrol
about-
agent? What is that like? The routine.
Oh, you want to go through that
Yeah,
real quick for them?
yeah. So
Like what a typical shift would be like?
yeah, bro. You know, and prior to all this, it's just such a great job if you're an active guy and you like to get after it and you want to protect your country, because you're really on the border, man. Like, and there's nothing out there. You might be alone, you know. And I'm sure you might have seen videos. There's like the next backup's 40 minutes, and I'm just a regular agent. I'm not, you know, the high-tech, high-speed guys, but it's a good thrill. So you show up at
Clearly.
the station, and what makes
It's
it
like-
different is you're not in some are cities, but where I was at, show up, you check your truck out, you have a meeting. They go, listen, this is the
Muster is
muster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you go, you see 40 of your boys. It's like walking here every day, seeing you guys. What's going on? How's your kids' baseball practice? What's going on? All right, joking around, stupid
Damn,
accent.
they
This
ain't
and
got
that.
nowhere to
They tell
put
you the
these folks. They
traffic patterns.
shipping
This is
them
what- and I wanna-
everywhere.
Reports to a
Telling you,
station.
They're
Yeah.
forcing them
They have
on
a
us.
station.
So they're just telling you
Whoa.
things to look out for,
In
what to watch. This guy
Springfield.
friggin' lost his
Y'all
truck
know
in
we
the
from
ditch, and we
Ohio.
Pull it out. He has to buy
In
donuts. You know what I mean?
Springfield,
Just
though?
regular
Springfield's
stuff.
about
Stuff that is
45
important.
minutes,
Like, hey, we've seen this in the area. Drones.
West of Columbus.
The problem with them bringing in Springfield is, bro, I know Springfield. It's probably the best place to dump those people off in, because it's high crime, it has high drug activity, high homelessness. Like, there isn't really much to fight back these people
right.
in Springfield.
No, you're
Now, if they
right.
came to Columbus, it'd be up. But Springfield, come
You
on now.
hope.
Springfield be a little dirty. Let's be real. You know, unless you go over to that little small part where rich people live.
drug activity. These are things you need to know.
Well, the more
because you're going out there
people.
alone.
Yeah.
Check your truck, make sure your truck's in work in order. You check your gear. Is my gun loaded? I mean, so, you know, there's like you have to have my handcuffs, all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Make sure, like
You gotta
the
be
video
ready, 'cause
guys.
99% of the time it might not be something. When it pops off, you got to be ready to go.
Oh wow.
Check your truck and then you hit the field, man. You get an assigned area and there's different teams. There's dirt bikes, there's quads, there's towers to watch people.
Horse units.
Horse units. You got paperwork guys that are just doing the paperwork. And I was just a field agent. I never went to a specialty unit. I like going out in my truck, dude, sitting out there and. Oh, there's someone, you know, you might see it or something. Oh, he's over there. And now you're out there, you can kind of pick who you want to work with, too. You know what I mean? Like, say me and Myron get along better than me and Walter. Yeah. I'll say, hey, Myron, you in this area, come over here. Let's work this group.
Yeah.
We might not even, I mean, we'll call you if we need you, but if we don't absolutely need you, we just call it. And then
Is it New York or
Boston? You're waiting on them,
Boston?
and then it's like playing tag as a kid.
Let me explain. When he says let's work this group, what'll end up happening sometimes is there'll be a sensor hit, right? Like there's sensors all over the southwest border. Yeah, or a camera. And they'll be like, oh, sensor just hit.
Yeah, she does say she work on the
borders.
borders.
And like, okay, we're
They'll have the
tracking this
picture of
group.
the guy.
Completely slipped our
They'll
mind.
have the picture of the dudes.
Oh yeah.
With the
Yeah, shout out to the members, man.
So
What
they'll
a
drive over there
perspective.
and track the group, and then they'll find them, and they'll kind of
got
find
border,
a convergence point
former,
to apprehend them. So that's what he means when he
military
says working
veteran.
group.
Yeah, like
Man,
you go in
we
front,
got
I'll
some
go
well-versed
behind,
people in
and we'll
our-
go east
Oh,
and
God, in our community, for sure.
And the thing that's awesome is you get to learn these landscapes that no one even knows that are on the border.
Middle of
So
nowhere.
I know these rocks and these mountains, and I'm not the best agent. You know, there's much better than me. I'm an average agent, probably even below average, but I'm a pretty physical kid. There's guys that know this area, so if we push them this way, they're going to take this rock wall, get a guy up on that rock wall, now he's looking down, and it's like, oh, how you guys doing? You didn't know I was up here, but we do this every day. You just started last night. You've been going for 2 days. I do this 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. So it's awesome because you have the jump on because you know everything.
Hey, nah, Linda was
It's a lot of
right.
fun, and you're protecting your
Like,
country
man,
and you're
them
doing what
hours.
you know what
Yeah,
we signed up
crazy.
to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
It's like a
fun.
mission in Far Cry.
Yeah. So
Damn.
so that's the typical day, and you know they're doing like 8 to 10 hour shifts a day. You know, at weekends it's like it's a big project.
Yeah, for
Nah,
sure.
man, everybody
Family,
thinks
some
man,
guys will
bro,
be working
think
2-3
Gerard-
hours. So
Gerard
and
and
Linda.
Linda in the
girl,
chat.
somebody's wife, and the kids get sick. You're out in the field. You might not
Special
have
thank
service.
you to
bro. So
y'all.
it's a pretty decent sacrifice, right? You're not like in the city. You can come home for dinner. You might be 2-3 hours away. But as far as the academy's concerned, yeah, I was there during COVID. They wouldn't let us leave. If you leave, you lost your job. They said you can leave, you just won't get a job. So they
Damn.
kept us in our rooms locked down a lot of times for like a week or 2 weeks, delivering you food. Couldn't do nothing. And then as the COVID shot came out, they said, hey, if you want to take the COVID shot, we might let you off base. Boys, after 8 months of being on a base,
Yeah.
I said, I don't care. Listen, I'm a kid from Brockton, really. I don't care if this thing kills me. I got to get off this friggin' base now. Shoot me with whatever you're going to
So
shoot me
he
with.
kept
because I
it
wanna
bug.
get off.
He
wanna
said,
eat
I
real
got
food. I
that
wanna see
jab.
my people.
They
I don't want to be locked down no more.
So
So
they
you're going to take
whoa,
it.
Bro, okay,
they
dude,
locked the base down,
Bro, it's like this. Imagine getting sent to jail because you didn't take the jab, and every day they swing by and be like, if you take the jab, we'll let you out. We take the jab, we'll let you out.
Oh, no.
Eventually, I feel like you're going to lose that nerve and be like, bro, just give me this fucking jab, bro. Let me out of here, bro. Like, yeah, they warm down. Bro, damn, that is crazy. That's crazy. And, bro, that is basically like putting a man in jail. You're damn near threatening his livelihood, threatening the way he takes care of his family. And then, oh, yeah, but now it's time. Oh, yeah, but we'll let you out. You got to take this jab.
What the fuck?
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm not some scientist guy. I didn't know about the mRNA, and I'm not here to talk about that because I don't know much about it, but I know I wouldn't have taken it had I not been locked down for 8 months, held prison
Just
for
like
a
so
job.
many other government employees.
Damn,
like
it's
they didn't have
crazy
a
how they
choice. It's like
manipulated
they
some
don't
folks
have a
into
job.
My
getting
father's a
that.
taxi
It's
cab driver. Where am I gonna make
wild.
money? I'm gonna be making $120 a year with this job. I'll take whatever you tell me to take.
Yeah.
I need the cash.
Yeah.
My old man, 70 years old, still hustling a taxi at Boston Airport.
Boston.
Why wouldn't I take a shot?
I told you, this is thick.
Yeah.
But it must
Sound
be
like,
tough. I mean, you-
My boy
Ted.
That boy said,
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
"Whoa."
guys, it's like being at the police academy fucking blows. Whether it's Border Patrol, HSI, FBI, DEA, any guy that does a police academy will tell you where you live on it. It fucking blows, dude. It really sucks. So you need that time to like kind of get off base. So that's crazy that they had you stuck there and they basically forced the vaccine on you. Which is not forced
Basically,
anymore, right?
they did.
Now?
No,
With new
no.
BPAs? Yeah.
The way, yeah, with new I don't know actually. I can't say if it is or it's not.
Okay.
All I know is the way another agent explained to me is like, bro, they basically lined us up on a wall and said you take it or you lose your job. It was like threatened against guys.
Exactly.
Damn.
So let's kind of we talked a little bit about your background. Do we have chats or anything like that we need to read?
And if anything would have happened to
I
him,
know
you
people
couldn't
probably have
say
a
nothing.
bunch of questions
That's
here.
wild.
But I'll get into the first
Man,
one
you
while
want
we
your
pull
job
up
back,
chats
man.
and
You're
get
gonna
them
take this
so let's
questionable
kind of get
jab.
into the border here. So What station are you
120
stationed
government
out of, and what
benefits.
kinda made you
Yeah,
say,
a lot of folks ain't passing
what was
that
the
up.
line that was crossed?
How
Like, I
could
gotta
you?
come
You got a
forward about
family?
this.
I think there's just an
Man.
accumulation over time and just seeing all the people getting.
Make sure to
names.
like the
I've
video,
seen
guys.
news
Go ahead
stories
and
of these
double
women
tap
I
that
wanna
screen
read
for
their
us.
names that got killed by people that we vetted and let into the country.
Gotcha. What station? Just so the audience knows.
Yeah, I'm at Newport Station up in Swan Sector in Vermont, but which is a very busy sector right now. But I was originally down in Casa Grande Station in Arizona.
Okay. And how many illegal aliens would you say were coming through that sector every?
What did I hear about
Oh,
that?
I wouldn't be able to put a number up, but I'm at thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's one of the bigger sectors in the country.
Tucson
Just so
sector is
audience.
massive. Yeah, Tucson sector is huge. You got big stations with 300-400 agents each.
And let me kind of explain that to audience. So, guys, the way Border Patrol works is they have sectors, right? And in those sectors, you have different Border Patrol stations. When I was in Texas, right, we had the Laredo sector where you had Border Patrol North, Border Patrol South, etc. And that was 1,000+ agents in it. In Arizona, also, since on the southwest border, huge sector, a lot of stations.
Hey, I love it. I
Was
love the
your
spirit.
you said you were Tucson sector, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the busiest ones.
It's super busy. Yeah, you have Tucson Station, Casa Grande, Ajo. I mean, think about the state of Arizona, just in landmass. You got to have enough people to try to cover that.
Yeah.
So you're talking.
And
some
your
serious-
particular station, you said you guys had a couple hundred guys, right?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. So it was a big station.
Big station, a lot of dudes.
So you guys pretty much had all the works there. You had a horse unit, more than likely, ATVs,
Everything,
helicopters,
yeah.
everything.
Everything, yeah.
Unlike a smaller station.
Buddy, it's as simple back then. It was as simple as picking up your phone and calling the helicopter most of the time to get help. Even if it was a group of 3 or 4, you could call a helicopter. They'd be in the area because it's a friggin' highway every day. But we at least
That's
catch
a well-funded. That's a well-funded department.
helicopter, yeah, bikes, horses, dirt
What
bikes.
you mean, bro?
Was
We
it
don't even
in-house
need to
Border Patrol,
have
was
any
it
big
air
problems to
receipt
go down and get a
ammo?
helicopter
It's
going.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's ammo. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And National Guard. You'd have the Guard.
Oh, okay.
And you'd have the state of Arizona bird too.
National
For
Guard.
counter drug, right?
I don't even know, but they
The
had some
National
good.
Guard guys.
They had some pretty sick helicopters, bro. Like they had like lasers and shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to swear. They had
No,
lasers.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Just the uniform, but yeah, they had lasers like the infrared, so
Yeah.
they could really
What? Like,
pinpoint. they'd
damn,
tell the guys
I
to
bet
look
they
at
do
feet
have
to
some
your
shit
west.
like
You're
that.
no,
I
he's
bet
like,
they
no,
do.
he's hiding under a bush. You just haven't looked. Like go look over there, and there'd be
wait.
dudes like they could see up in the sky.
Oh, with the
So
infrared.
it's really high tech.
Yeah.
Like we can tell.
so
we can see your body.
What made
Hiding
you
in
say,
the
you know, I
bush,
gotta come
and
forward?
these
Like,
niggas
what
can
did you
see it
see
in
on
the
border that
nighttime
made
as
you say-
well.
I mean, I know you said it was a bunch of different things, but what would you
Just
say maybe
the
the top 2 or
accumulation
3?
of time. Well, the first thing that happened was when I all right. So to go real deep into it, it didn't start in Tucson sector. There was other sectors that were getting smashed, so we were still turning people back. But other sectors were getting busy, overran, and they were the ones giving out the files to let people in. So you're seeing this at other sectors.
Okay.
Do you see what so you're hearing through the grapevine that, hey, we're just letting people in. Down in Eagle Pass.
Oh, really?
You're hearing, yeah, you're like, dude,
Yeah.
this is weird. Why are they letting all these people in?
Wait,
The
just
whole-
letting people in?
Well, I think Myron will probably be better to explain it. We're giving them court dates for years in the future that they never show up to, and then ERO doesn't go and remove them afterwards.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Yep,
let me explain this
pretty
real
much.
fast for the people.
Hold on.
So,
Wait. What?
Yeah.
when you come into the United States, guys, illegally, right,
Gotcha.
and you run into Border Patrol, what ends up happening is you get apprehended, and then you get taken to a Border Patrol station where you're processed.
Okay.
And then they create something called an alien file on you, which is when he was mentioning file. That's what he means. You get an
Catch
alien
and
number, it's a
release
9-digit
explained.
number, AO, whatever the hell it is, and then it's a 9-digit
Ain't no
number,
goddamn way.
and that is
Bro.
gonna be your alien registration number, right? And it used to be, right? This is where my mind got blown. Actually speaking to him, most of the time there was a policy, and this was under Trump. Alien comes in, you're getting something called an expedited removal, an ER. Okay, that means you are getting sent back within 2 weeks to Mexico, wherever the fuck you came from, right? Now, they're doing something called, which is fucking crazy to me that they're doing this now, something called a notice to appear, release on recognizance, NTAOR, right?
Wow.
This is
Are
something
you
that
serious?
As someone who's been through the court system, release on recognizance is pretty much them leaving it up to you to show back up to court.
Are you?
They'll let you out, and it's up to you to show back up to
Hold
court.
on. So you're in
And
America.
at worst, if you don't show up, it's like a warrant, and they're supposed to come get you. But I
Come
mean,
on now.
if
How
you're
many people-
if you're absconding from the law, then
and how much people did they process and let that go through? Like countless people. Well, you got like probably over 1 million warrants. You need to.
they're overbooked essentially.
Oh hell no.
Bro, it's crazy.
never do. Giving someone an NTAOR.
Repeat that so they can hear that because
Yeah.
this is big. Like
Yeah.
they never. I wasn't in at this time, but they would never do this.
So, one more time. So, when illegal aliens come in, they get apprehended. Under the Trump administration, they would get something called an expedited removal, kicked out immediately within 2 weeks. They have
Yeah,
to go
that's
within 2
true,
weeks.
They would
Gerard. They
go in and
sure
just give
do.
themselves up. They were trying to cross too.
Yeah.
They were trying to cross and they were kicking them.
Yeah. So they would kick them, right?
Right.
Now they're not giving them expedited removals. They're giving them notice to appears, released on own recognizance, which means they get apprehended.
This is what's blowing my mind. You snuck over here, and instead of keeping you detained and prepare to send you back, we release you out in America and expect you to have the decency to come back for court so we can deport your ass?
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Bro, like, what? You stupid. Like, you had to be stupid. There ain't no way you guys thought that was going to be the thing. Like, what?
And it's this lackadaisical policy on the border that's led to these infrastructural issues that we have. That's why you see these cities overrun with these folks. And I'm all for legal immigration, but when these undocumented people, yes, undocumented, I don't care how much the word triggers you, when these undocumented are over here, they pose a threat.
Key, bro.
Bruh. God damn.
You're technically encountered.
Yes.
You've been encountered by the Border Patrol.
You get an alien number, and then they basically have you sign some documents and let you go.
We just take your word that you're
You
going
don't
to
even speak English. You don't even know what these documents say. You just like, oh, America? Yes.
Wait. She's telling me.
You don't know this, Walter?
No.
People don't know this
No, the
stuff?
American public doesn't
I'm
know.
from the islands, bro. Picking coconuts and shit.
No, it's fine.
I know.
No, but I'm serious. I thought everyone knew
So
this.
you're telling me I can come by the border, get caught, get released, and then go by my...
Well, not only that, they show up with neck pillows. They're looking at me like, I want you to work faster so I can go to my spot, because they know. They show up with neck pillows like we're Uber.
We're going to have to connect with you, Dan. We're going to have to connect with you, bro.
I'm not here to say about political
God, they damn near waiting on border security. If that's the case, there is no border security. It's pretty much border transfer service. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to pick you up. We're going to pretend to arrest you, put you in, and then let you out into America and expect your ass to show up to courts. We're going to deport your ass. It's like, bro, there's no way. You stupid. Like, oh shit. I hope y'all enjoying the sound effects. Appreciate y'all. Make sure to like the video.
About that. I could talk about that. So, and I don't want to really stress this to the American public. And NTAOR guys, notice to appear, released on own recognizance. When I was an agent, I vividly remember going to Border Patrol stations. A guy would come in and he'd have information, right? One of the illegal aliens, he might come in and he has information on a drug cartel or some shit.
This may be a reckless ass joke, but you know who we need on the border? We need the KKK, bro. The KKK would not let a single Mexican over here. They wouldn't let a soul over here. You know what? We just need to take the whole KKK and make them border agents. Because they would not let a soul in, bro. They'd be over there like what? Like, oh, where you think you going, boy? Bro, they gonna make sure not a soul cross that border.
I'm like, I want to turn this guy into an informant. I would ask the Border Patrol, can you
I'm
give
sorry,
him
I just had to say it.
This guy's good to go. I
jokingly, of
family,
course.
Where he's gonna be.
Jokingly, of course.
NTAOR
Okay.
For me, he's gonna work for me. They will literally look me in the eye and say, no, we don't do NTAORs. And I was like, okay. So I would have to take the guy. I give him an NTAOR on my own because as HSI we have immigration authority, so I'd have to do it myself. It's a pain in the ass. It's a lot of paperwork, but I'll do it myself. But now, which is crazy to me that he's telling me this, they're giving everyone NTAORs. You don't give NTAORs to aliens because they give you a bullshit address. They might not be there.
Yeah.
And they're
not going to show up with the judge.
And they're with kids, and we don't. And this is another thing. They're with children.
I'm
This is the
sorry.
trafficking
I'm
piece.
sorry.
And I don't want to cut you off. So
No, I'm done.
I get
I'm done.
excited.
I just really had to drive home to them how this is not normal at all.
Oh yeah, and I'm not.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the support.
You
stupid, whatever.
Go for it. Go for it.
They're with kids, right? So you show up with kids. We're not taking the biographical data of the children under 14.
Yeah,
no
they
picture,
definitely
no
did.
fingerprint, bro. No one knows that.
You know, it's crazy.
Oh,
They
shit.
sold
We can't
the border.
find these. We don't take. Everyone else gets a mouth
Yeah,
swab,
like
a picture, and
they
iris.
literally sold parts of the border for like cheap. They were trying to sell the border so quick that the parts to build the wall. They were selling it so quick to make it as if Trump never said it. Like, what you mean? He didn't even have parts. I'm like, well, yeah, I bet there ain't no parts there no more. They literally sold the barrier. Like, it's crazy.
We're scanning. We're taking severe data. Like, we're finding out. Like, we get the data on you. We're still letting you go. Children, we're not fingerprinting. They might not have documents, or they might have fake documents.
Holy shit.
So you could be from whatever country, go to the border with a little girl that's not your daughter, and you guys get sent to the same address.
No way.
And we don't have nothing on that girl. There's no bio data. You can't even take a picture.
Holy shit.
Under 14.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's why this needed to be spoken about. People think it's like, no, something has to be done. Once again, no biographical data under kids under 14. That's an NTOR, right? Now, being Border Patrol, it's strictly a privilege. I'm not doing investigations. We have an intel, but it's on investigation. HSI is like serious.
Hold on. So y'all get these kids, right, with the parents or whatever adult they're with, and y'all run the adult's fingerprints and everything, but you get nothing on the kid?
Under 14, they can't do any biographical data on them.
So that means anything can happen to this kid and it can disappear into sex trafficking and all that good stuff, and we wouldn't know. Yo, that's why they said these kids is going missing. It's so easy for them to go missing when there's this big ass hole in the system.
Investigations, bro. Like HSI, you're really looking into a lot of things. Yeah. So when he has a guy that he wants to NTOR, over 4 years ago in the past, that's a guy that probably has a tie to a very serious
You're not
criminal
giving
organization.
NTORs out. Like, it's got to be some really fucking good. Because you're putting your neck on the line to say, we're letting this guy in to the United States.
Because he's connected to X, Y, and Z. He knows he might be whoever connected. That could really crack a huge case, and we were still saying no.
Right. Yeah, they would tell me no every time. I had to do it myself. But now they're giving it to everybody. I'm fucking shocked. When he told me that, I was like,
and I don't want to say currently they're giving it to, but like, because they're getting ERs, expedited removal with credible fear.
Really, Linda?
Which is someone, the end of this guy, is basically like, we want to remove you, but we're going to hear you out if you have credible fear. And we don't know what happens when an asylum officer hears about the credible fear. They might say it's a credible claim.
Okay, so this is another process way. Okay, so we went over, just so the audience understands, there's three main ways that they're processing. So they got caught by Border Patrol. There's three main avenues they got processed, guys. Expedited removal, which they're not really doing anymore. NTORs, which they're doing a lot, and then this third one you mentioned, which is expedited removal with a credible fear. Can you explain that to the audience what that is?
Expedited removal with a credible fear?
Yeah.
So when he was talking about ERs in the past, that's just like we're basically just getting rid of you. It's going on your record. We're not holding you in prison for what you did, because crossing the border is a crime.
Yeah.
Illegal entry. We're holding you, and we're going to expedite. So when we give somebody an ER, they're leaving, right? Like, we're just kicking you. You're not getting held in jail. ER gone. But there's a thing called an ER with cred fear, which we're not allowed to decide cred fear or not. So we're holding you in a prison. We're holding you in a jail. It might be like, we might outsource that to like a state prison. Yeah. So we're holding you. We catch you. We're holding you. But now you get a chance with a lawyer that you get for free if you want, or yourself, go talk to an asylum officer, and they decide if you have credible fear. If they say you have credible fear, you're still allowed to stay.
What is credible fear?
Good question.
There's so many errors in that.
It's a very I'm glad you asked that. It's an ambiguous term.
It's
basically
filled with loopholes.
I can't go back. They're going to kill me, or I have political things. So it's like almost claiming asylum.
Okay.
It's like
yeah, so it's still the same. Come over here, claim asylum, and you're good to go.
So I could be a killer, be a good actor, and say, "Oh, they're gonna do this to me when I go back."
Yeah.
But you know what?
You could.
You got my back, right, Doc?
Yeah.
And I stay.
You could. Yeah. Theoretically. Yeah. And that's crazy with the kids. So you're telling me they're not collecting any biometrics on the children?
When you say under 14. Which is the ones that you need to be collecting the data on. So if I change nothing else, we got to start taking bio data of children.
Because imagine a young guy, a kid as a guy, right? Yeah. At 14 years old or 13 years old. They're probably doing crimes back home.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen in the news, and I'm pretty sure this is the case, and I saw this. So it looks, I don't want to speak out of turn. We don't even have Venezuela's criminal stuff. We can't even see what if you committed crimes in Venezuela.
That's crazy. And that's who's coming over here and purporting most of these crimes over here.
Okay, so we don't have that. Okay, so there is this one thing that I forgot what the system's called, but it's a system that we invented, I believe, back in the 70s.
A
or
database.
80s.
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, the database that connects us all in America. Where you could pull up anybody's crime in America, right? Yeah. Of course, we wouldn't have that out there in Venezuela, but we should though. Like, let's be real. Our criminal organizations should be linked if we're such allies, and if they're not linked, then I'm gonna be real with you.
That way, we know when we're getting these career criminals, these gang cartel members. But no, they're coming over here and RP Jocelyn. I forget her last name. I don't want to disrespect her, but. Stories like that are happening. Like, these were two Venezuelan immigrants who came over here undocumented.
I'm be real with you. I'd be cut as hell. I'd be like, look, bro, he got some crazy charges, dog, or we don't know about him. It's either you take him back or we take him out the game. I bet you they're gonna start taking back people. And we're gonna pull your country's funding as well. We'll hit it with the Trump.
Yeah, tariffs, and we ain't gonna trade or work with you.
Yeah.
If
you don't take back your criminals.
We can't look into that.
Or your people. That will share their criminal history of individuals.
One of them y'all gonna take back.
What about India?
I don't know if they do or not.
You have to reach out. You can reach out, but it's not.
We need our streets clean.
This guy.
I see all those memes.
I see the jokes. This guy. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
But yeah.
I can't take my eye off this kid's wrist. It's like shining.
So let me.
You mind if you float me that for a couple weeks? No, I'm
Got you, bro.
So they're basically just letting these guys in with an NTOR, which is wild because guys, for an NTOR or notice to appear, release on own recognizance, that means you're going to see an immigration judge at a later time. All you need to do is give an address.
Any address works. We'll take any address. We'll just take your word for it. You give the address.
So they get arrested, process, then they walk out.
Damn.
No. They're not walking. We're paying for them to fly somewhere, brother.
Wow.
Wait, you're paying for their flight too?
I'm not paying for your pay. We're all paying for it.
Taxpayers are paying.
Wow.
Free flights,
They get
bro.
flown out. They get flown out, bro.
Anywhere they want to get flown. You didn't know. I can't believe you guys didn't know this. I'm sorry. Like, this is so normal to me.
Bro, we're flying people out.
Now do you understand why I'm
Bro,
talking?
even know what?
Now do you understand why I'm saying all this?
And we ain't even smashing.
This guy's crazy.
Hold on.
Can you have a little decorum? For Christ's sake, I'm in a freaking uniform.
Yeah.
Fresh, I agree.
No. Hold on. No, this is actually fucking crazy.
You never
Like,
seen the airport videos at Tucson? They just wave. They're not even going through like the TSA lines all misconstrued. It's like they have their own separate line in the airport. They're not paying, and then they're getting paid. They're getting the food stamps. They're getting everything the American taxpayer is getting. In some states, I think they can become cops. I'm like, I'm waiting for the guy to pull me over, put me in jail for speeding. They can become cops in some states. Or it was like, or maybe like they were trying to talk about them becoming cops. And in California, Newsom struck it down. I just saw AB 1840 up to 120 G's down on a house down payment.
Really?
He struck it, yeah.
Bro. And again, when I was in Laredo from 2014 to 2018, we were giving everybody expedited removals. That means they were coming in, Border Patrol was telling them, get the fuck out of here immediately. This was under Trump. They're getting turned away within 2 weeks because the expedited removal is the best way to process them because it's quick. It's a quick file.
It's easy peasy.
Get them out of there within 2 weeks. It doesn't cost the American taxpayers
It goes on their
a lot.
record. It goes if they get a few of them, you can reinstate it. You can keep, if they do it a certain amount of times, if somebody, we can put them in jail for sex. We can penalize them. It's there. You can see it.
Yeah. When you come in illegally the first time, it's something called 1325, 8 USC 1325, illegal entry. Then you come in again after you've been deported, like with an ER. They can charge you with 1326, which is a felony reentry, illegal reentry.
And we can maybe reinstate the ER or we can charge you with that 1326 and you can do time over it.
But the point is, the reason why the ER is so good for the American public and the country.
Without the cred fear.
Without the cred fear.
Because they add that in there and now it's, they're getting ER'd.
Yeah.
But
it's ambiguous.
It gets them out of there quickly. It doesn't cost the taxpayer a lot because we're not housing them for long. Typically, they're getting turned back within 24 hours, especially if they're Mexican. Well, because Mexico's right there.
You just give them to their federales. You just give them to their
You're just giving them to their Mexican police, like at the border. You transition them over.
Okay.
So it works. It's the best for everybody, right? Quickly done. They're still processed. Biometrics are fully there. They're getting out. We're not expending.
Boom. That way, if they try and come back over, we have them in our database to identify them, right? That's how the process should be done. But I think what is so dangerous about the point they're making and the point that I often make on stream is that a lot of these people are coming over here and we have no prior knowledge of what they've done in their home country, why they're coming over here, what their intentions are. Like I said, I'm all for legal immigration, work visa, school visa. You coming over here with clear intent and purpose, but you coming over here undocumented, we can speculate that you're coming over here for the American dream and you want to assimilate into our culture and society and be a tax-paying citizen. We can assume that, but it's dangerous to do so when we don't know what the hell you came over here for. You're undocumented. We don't even know your name.
That's what the visa program was for, to get the best of the best. And even that's hurting these countries.
Like, bro, the people that are legally trying to come over here, it's so disrespectful to them. It's a very strenuous, tedious, sometimes expensive process. And then you got people who are just coming over here saying, I'm seeking asylum. And then boom, bada bing, bada boom. You're on a plane or bus to one of these sanctuary cities with a $6,000 a month stipend.
But now you're telling me that we're letting them in and we're paying for flights?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're killing American citizens. People, they've gone on to kill people.
We appreciate the support from Jake Peters, man. One of the mods chiming in, man. $10 super chat. What do you say, Seth?
Man, looking like a smooth broadcast. Had to tap in, man. We appreciate you.
Yes,
Jay.
sir,
Man,
my
it's gonna
boy.
be a good one. Trust me.
Yeah, man.
We got a lot coming up.
And I have pictures, and I'll send it to you. I took a picture at the hospital. A guy had a 13 on his hand. We're paying for his hospital bill. So if you're crossing now and you fall off the fence and you break your leg,
Make sure to like the video, guys. We got 300 plus
Whoa,
of y'all in here.
whoa. What the hell did he just say?
Go.
Just
No
upset
way.
to you.
I just
Listen, people, they've gone on to kill people. I mean, I've sat at and I have pictures, and I'll send it to you. I took a picture at the hospital. A guy had a 13 on his hand. We're paying for his hospital bill. So if you're crossing now and you fall off the fence and you break your, I think this guy broke his leg. I don't want to go into the hip about it, but he was in the hospital for days. They're getting surgeries on the taxpayer dime, and then we're releasing him from the hospital.
He was a gang member?
I got you got the 13 on his,
Oh
hand,
my God.
bro.
Hell nah.
We got American citizens here.
Hold on,
that need
man.
help
Hell no.
medically. And they're getting it for
No,
free.
forget that. What about the kids? Because I've been thinking about this.
13
What
on
about
his
the
hand,
kids
you
that see, they
surgically
were like a
operating
little
on
older
his
than us, and
leg.
they were like
In
18
America
around
with our
9/11, whatever
taxpaying
you wanna feel
dollars.
about the war.
You
They
know he
rose
ain't
their
paying that
hand,
hospital bill.
and they went to war for this country,
nigga
bro.
getting
They come
Medicaid
back,
off
they
the
can't
rip?
get nothing now. They're homeless. They don't get any medical. And what about the kids that died over there?
Yeah.
Whatever you feel about the war, they were 19, 18, 20, 21 years old. They went and died on a foreign land, never to see their parents again. And now we're bringing people in and just giving them stuff for free.
Bro.
We should be giving
That's
those families the money, bro.
Bro, that's
Dude,
Man.
this is
And then
fucking
he
people
said
are
it
scared to
best.
speak out. It's like,
This
well,
is the
if it's-
perspective of a border patrol agent.
Like, nah, here's a problem. That's what everybody's like, brokely disgruntled with America with. We're taking care of foreigners better than we're taking care of our own people. Nobody would complain if we were doing this for our people. Nobody would complain about, oh yeah, we got to give EBT cards to the poor. As long as it's not too expensive and long as it's not too expensive and it's reasonable, nobody minds giving out stuff to the unfortunate. But if we're just giving out stuff to people who aren't American citizens, who aren't trying to help benefit America in any way, they're only here just to get the handout from us. And what are they going to do? They're not going to go help American citizens. If anything, they're taking away from American citizens.
Nah, you're right.
But let's be real. Are they really taking away from American citizens, or is our government just giving it to them?
Yeah, they're allowing it to happen.
Tough, but
scared
it
to
is
speak
what
out,
it is.
then I understand you got a mortgage, you get a family, but it's like at what point? This is my whole thing. What point when do you speak out? When it's too late, right? Or it's easy?
And here's the thing, dude. I didn't even know this was going on. Where
And
we're
you're
giving
like-
up flights, NTORs.
That's like the most. They're
I
getting
had to
flights.
fight to even like they would never out.
They're getting flown around. They're not coming with thousands of dollars paying for their own plane ticket. Well, they're okay. The government isn't giving them flights, going through the NGOs, brother.
Okay.
Non-governmental organizations. It's not a border patrol flight, but
Okay.
essentially, we're giving those NGOs money. Those NGOs are using.
Wow.
So it's not border
Through
patrol
proxy.
flights, I'm sorry.
Of course.
It's the NGOs, which is
Okay.
they're still getting a free
But
flight
they're still getting free flights.
from these NGOs. Where do they get their money? Grants from the government.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus.
Holy shit. Did you have something
And then
you
there's
wanna ask?
trucking.
No,
Then
no.
there's
Is he
trucking
allowed to get on
companies,
here
like,
and say all
bus
this and go back to
companies.
his job?
Like, dude, like this is like a whole
Shut up,
operation.
bro.
And they're intense. Then they get them in they have like staging operations for them to stay and stuff. And then there's like cops that are getting paid on the dole to like guard the area. Then they're not reporting the crimes. In New York City, Midtown, there's 75% of all arrests were basically NTAORs, people that we encountered. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys' heads are buried in the sand. You guys
Yeah.
gotta start reading the papers.
So
This shit should make you sick.
Like, what is going on, bro? This is supposed to be like a country for the people, and it's a country for immigrants now?
Man, fuck it. I'll say we're letting criminals in.
Yep.
Letting criminals in and they're tearing up our city. That's why crime is so high in some of these cities. That's where people are leaving some of these cities in a mass exodus.
Like,
all type of dangerous ass situations being created all over the country. He's speaking about New York.
Bro.
We know about the Aurora,
bro,
Colorado
I'll be real with you.
situation.
And worst case scenario, this could divide the country because if too much immigrants show up and a whole lot of us leave, then I ain't gonna lie, we're literally giving up land to these people. Like, think about it like that. If enough Venezuelans come into a certain part of town and all the Americans just leave, then what happened to that side of town is theirs now. Like it or not, and immigrants just came through and took over a whole side of
Fuck
town.
all that. That's a hostile takeover that our government allowed. It's sanctioned.
Yeah, and we can't do nothing about it. We can't go over there with our guns and be like, yeah, if y'all don't get the hell up out of here. Nah.
I'll be damned. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't going.
I'll be damned too if they tried it.
I'm an American, goddamn. You ain't taking my shit.
Like, but
Fuck.
hey, if you ask the government, we should let them take our shit. We should be happy about it because we're doing something for the world.
Well, if you go off the perspective of the border agent, he just said they're putting police presence around these complexes and these housing complexes that they have set aside for them, so you can't attack them. Because you know there's some enraged Americans like, nah, fuck all that. But they got security pretty much
Bruh.
to help these niggas out, safeguard these niggas.
That's
60% of the arrests in Queens are people that we let into the country. 60% of all arrests in Queens.
And another $5 super chat from Jake Peters, man. We appreciate you,
Man,
bro.
he said, make no mistake, this is by design. It is by design. Like, make no mistake. Like, bro, there was a great replacement theory. Well, that's what everybody was pitching. Oh, the Democrats are losing so bad they need new people in here. When I don't even think it's that anymore. No. I don't even think it's that. I just really think they're trying to just destroy the society. It's not about, like, conserving our society. It's about putting more and more cultures into it that don't align with us to destroy it. Because I always did say, I did not blame Poland for taking in all them Ukrainians and no Muslims because, well, who's going to assimilate better to their culture? Well, Christian Ukrainians, not Muslim Arabs. But look what we're doing. We're letting in all types of people that can't assimilate to our way of life.
Don't want to. Have no intentions of doing so.
Man, middle finger to it in our face at this point, and we're just letting them in, acting like it's not gonna degrade our society. And we're playing ourselves at this point that if we're not gonna vote the people out of power who's doing this.
And that's why you guys got a younger audience. I like you guys.
Or 1776 is always a last resort.
Youth, you know,
that's no, because
or maybe it could be a first
lot of
one.
people don't know this. I mean, obviously we see what the fuck is going on in Colorado. I guarantee a bunch of those people
in
probably
Chicago.
NTORs.
Yeah, they were all let in.
Yeah, they said they was
no
going
respect.
to O Block in Chicago.
No respect, man.
The hell?
Bro, and then it's funny and it's a joke.
Immigrants?
You shouldn't speak out until it's your mother or
There's
your
gonna be
sister
war.
that was brutally raped and murdered.
Exactly.
Then it's not so funny anymore.
Yeah.
So when did this really start happening?
off
I know
in the
we're
game
going to kind of
until
keep this
your
apolitical from your perspective. You know,
yeah.
But when did you notice that this shift in immigration?
They were like shifting it sector to sector. So like we were still doing some ERs.
So you said Eagle Pass. You saw certain stations starting to do it.
Then we would get mandated to go help, dude. So that's the other beast of it. We'd go get mandated to go. You have to be away from your family. That's why guys on the northern border are upset. Like I got sent to Yuma. You get mandated to go to another state. So now guys are losing their marriages over helping these people in the country. You better help these people in the country, and you better go live there. Your wife, don't worry about her and your kids. They need help getting NTAORs.
Damn.
So we're being forced to go to these tents to help people get in and do the paperwork.
Yeah.
Away from your family. Guys were going on 30-day rotation 6 months out of the year.
Oh, damn.
And so I seen it happening. I got mandated.
So let me explain this to the audience as well. So guys, whenever there's a border crisis, and this happens like clockwork every single time during a
Election year.
You can. I know you're going to stay apolitical, but I'll say it to the audience. Anytime there's a Democrat and there's fucking always a border crisis, right?
Man.
And what ends up happening when there's a border crisis is certain Border Patrol stations get overwhelmed with people coming in. We're talking thousands, lines like going for like a mile. So what ends up happening is they don't have enough people to deal with that. So they call Border Patrol agents from other sectors that aren't as busy, whether it's up north, maybe Florida, other stations that aren't slammed, and they tell them, you guys got to come over.
They got to
to
deal
help
with the
us."
influx of
So
people
these agents
somehow.
come in and fly in, help out.
Can't hire enough of y'all.
The thing is that the whole NTAOR
Honestly.
thing that I explained to you guys, it's a very long file. It takes a lot of time to do an NTAOR, right? Because you got to get all this information on them and all this other shit.
They've since streamlined it a bit
They've
because they
streamlined it a
want to
bit?
get these people in faster, which even is more upsetting. They're cutting corners to get people in the country.
Wow, no, that's scary.
Okay, no, I'm glad.
you to know that.
No, I'm glad that you said that. So now,
this
one of the
gets
most
real.
cumbersome ways to let somebody in that's typically reserved for special situations, they've now broadened it and given it to fucking criminals.
And made the process quickly so you can snap them. And we actually started a whole new branch called Border Patrol Processing Coordinators, where you're not a Border Patrol agent, you're a processor. You have access to a gun, but you help with you don't really arrest. You do transport and files.
Wow.
And you basically, as the agent, you're just signing your name. If you're at a busy station, just sign it.
That's about
I'm
bureaucratic
signing-
as you can
signing
get.
the file for you.
That's
We
scary.
created a whole new
Man,
job
you ain't
on
even
this.
doing that.
Just to get people in.
That's like the
You know, that I can't say why they did it, but I mean, when you 2 + 2 = 4, 100% of the time.
It makes sense. What's that position under the doctor? That's kind of like a fill-in.
Oh, physician's assistant.
Same thing.
Yeah, you could say it's a functional equivalent.
So spot on,
Damn,
bro. Yeah,
bro.
so spot on.
Yeah, because this position didn't exist
W.
when I was in,
Walter.
because you're earning everybody. Get the fuck out of here.
So you said some quick math there. 2 + 2 = 4. So we got NGOs funding these operations. We got streamlined development of people pushing the country. The question is why?
No. I really, I want to get out of uniform for that, but no.
Okay.
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry if it's boring for the audience. Can you repeat that one more time? 'Cause I had something to say.
So we got literally NGOs that are funded supporting this process. Then we have as well people that are not even fully Border Patrol agents helping this process become even faster to push them in the country.
No, let me stop you, Coke. Because exactly. But now we're letting them in, right? Now they're in New York. They're not honoring the detainers, brother.
Okay, this is
So
another
now
can
they're
of worms. Go
NTOR.
ahead, yeah.
They're beating up cops in New York City. Then they're letting them out of jail. They're not calling ICE to go grab them, to remove them.
I'll explain this in a second. I'll let you finish,
that,
and I'll
that
clarify.
guy is, we're letting NTO through the NGO. They're getting in the country. Then they're committing a pretty serious crime. They're not, the state and local, like NYPD, they're not calling. It's against the law to call. So now this guy's been into the country in like a quasi-legal way, commits a crime. Like those cops that got beat up in New York, ICE showed up at the jail, they weren't there.
Okay.
They fled, bro. So they're not even letting the feds know at the local level when these guys do commit a crime. That's even more insane, right? Or am I just out of my mind?
I mean,
this has been a problem for a very long time. I can explain this because especially
And they
since
sit in the
ICE is-
cities with
So okay,
heavy population of immigrants already.
once you
so
come
they
into
can
the
just
country,
blend
guys,
in.
right, and you've been processed, right, and Border Patrol gives you your
true.
NTAOR, NTA notice to appear, right, where you're going to go see an immigration judge in your local jurisdiction of wherever the fuck you're going to go. Let's say for hypothetical purposes with Zach's story, you say, I got family in New York, I want to go to New York. You're an illegal alien. You go to New York, right?
Yeah.
You commit a crime while you're in New York. I don't like this NYPD officer. You fucking
And if you
punch him.
wonder why your city's taking in so many immigrants, this is a fact that a lot of people don't know. There's money in taking in these immigrants. You don't think the city is getting funding for taking in these immigrants?
Yeah, I don't know. Some type of what would be the incentive though? What you getting like 80K per immigrant?
Bro,
or
as you
something?
said, it's a bureaucratic process,
Yeah,
bro.
you're
It just creates a
right.
job and a salary for somebody. That's why these niggas sign up for it.
true.
The more immigrants, the more money you get. Like, I'm tired of this shit, bro.
Right? You get arrested.
Okay, I can see
Follow the
that.
money every
Technically,
time,
since
yo. I'm
you've been
telling
arrested
you.
and you're an illegal
I see
alien,
that.
NYPD should put a detainer on you. Well, actually, excuse me. Immigration Customs Enforcement should put a detainer on you because they get a list of everyone that's arrested and anyone that's an illegal alien, they put a detainer on them, right? It's the job of the local agency that arrested the illegal alien to hold that person so immigration can come get them
And remove them out of the country or
and
put them in
remove them.
prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they go ahead, he goes into jail for punching a cop. They're supposed to give their manifest to immigration. Immigration looks at it. Okay, these guys are illegal. We're going to come pick them up tomorrow once they're released from the court.
Got it.
What NYPD is doing, and this is common with a lot of law enforcement agencies, especially in sanctuary states or cities, they're not honoring the detainers. So the guy punches him, commits the crime. NYPD doesn't put a detainer because maybe the mayor tells him you can't. It's illegal. It's against
Even
policy.
if it's a rape, dude.
Yeah, it's against
Whoa.
policy.
Okay, now
so
it's
they
right.
don't hold the body or hold the prisoner for immigration to come get him.
And then he goes back out on the street and he's
Goes
still
back up.
getting government resources. And there's still veterans that are messed up in the head. They need counseling, they need housing, they need food. But this guy just committed a crime in here quasi-legally on an NTAOR. And
This is
He's
a
still
very big
getting
problem.
resources.
This
Getting
is with
five-
sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
There's a couple sanctuary cities. There's a lot of sanctuary cities in the United States: New York, San Francisco, Austin, Texas,
Boston.
Boston,
I'm
Massachusetts.
They
speechless.
just spent $1 billion in mass. The governor spent $1 billion. This is all public record. Spent $1 billion. And then one of the political groups like, well, where'd that money go to? They can't even get the answers where the $1 billion went.
Yo.
And these are little kids getting raped. And you know, there's so much to it, and I want to get into it. But
Yeah,
sorry to
no.
keep cutting you off.
I just wanted to chat. Does this all make sense,
What?
you guys? Give me ones in the chat. I know we've been throwing a lot of immigration lingo at you guys. This is like literally like a class.
I like
on
the video, man. We got over
immigration
500 of
nationality.
y'all in here right now, man. We're uncovering some shit.
Oh God, make sure to double tap the video, man. Only here at S.E.T and Key Media do we get into, man, politics, the border crisis, and we're about to get into some geopolitical stuff later, bro. We got you.
Who else y'all know, man? While some channels stick to one thing, man, we try and cover it all for y'all.
Man, for y'all. So go ahead and like that video for us. That's all you got to do.
But give me ones if this is making sense, or two if you're confused, hit 2 and then tell us why specifically you might be confused. But that's what a detainer is, and that's what he's explaining. Border Patrol lets them go. They go to New York. They commit a crime. Then the immigration officials, because once they're in the United States, it becomes ICE's problem. It's no longer Border Patrol's problem.
Yeah.
Because now they're in the interior. And the law enforcement agencies, when they arrest these illegal aliens, are not honoring immigration detainers so that these people can be removed. So it's a double whammy. They come in illegally, they commit
Okay.
crimes.
Yep.
then
They get flown in, all the money, all the whole time, and they're still on the dole. They're still on the dole.
This is scary, bro.
Yeah.
Very scary.
Overwhelming ones. Awesome. Cool. Most people are getting where we're going here. Yeah, guys, like I said, we're using a lot of acronyms, but I'm trying to really explain this because I really want the American public to know what the fuck is going on
You're
here.
doing
This
a
is
phenomenal
scary.
job, bro. You're doing a great job. Wow.
I
That's why I
mean-
wanted to sit down with you, because you're ex-HSI. Stuff that I can't explain, you can really put it out there, because I wasn't, I'm not a Harvard graduate, kid, by any
But
means.
this is scary what you're telling me. Because, like, dude,
Yeah,
when I was in, none
Yeah,
of this was going
don't lie,
on.
it is a
Everybody's
little
getting
scary.
PR'd.
I signed
No
up
one's
to,
getting
I signed up to
NTAs.
remove
It's
people,
like
not a system.
The way he's telling it is like it's a problem that's coming to you soon. It's like, bro, then like a movie trailer, like Invasion of the Immigrants coming to you soon. But guess what? You're part of the movie.
into the country so they can go commit crimes and take away resources.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm thinking?
Fucking
Let's
crazy,
say I'm a master
What?
criminal.
Yeah.
And
Linda,
I
no
see
way.
people come work for me, they get arrested, they go to jail for a long time. But now,
we're gonna have to
this new
pin that
system,
one.
I could just find some aliens that are not from the country, hire them to work for me, do crime, and then they'll be out in 2 days, a couple of days. I'm thinking like evil genius, bro. Like,
Well,
that's crazy.
You can then bring them in, and you can basically force them to do sex work, dude. You can be a pimp, brother. I mean, it's not hard. Why do you think there's so much trafficking?
Remember, keep in mind, they didn't document those kids
at all.
They're trafficking little babies, bro.
sue?
I mean, that's what's going on, bro. And you can't go find them. So what you
Yes,
just,
they can sue for personal injury.
So immigrants can sue you for personal injury. A person who's not supposed to be in America can sue you in America.
Well, I think they can sue anybody if they get hurt by the police force, if they were hurt entering the country. They could sue anybody. That's fucking crazy.
And that is what the link to Linda's message is. I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty crazy. Man.
said, but imagine with the sex
man.
work. Forget like going to rob people. They're doing that on their own. But I'm a grown man, right? Like I'm a little hefty, I'm a little big around the tummy, but I'm a grown dude. I
That's
could go grab
wild.
10, 15,
Appreciate
13-year-old
that,
girls, and now
Linda.
I have my own brothel.
Y'all make sure to go click that
They
link.
can't find these
Those
little
kids
girls.
aren't documented, so
They're-
that's
I got
what
it
makes
pinned in the
farm.
chat.
because they don't have no bio data.
Yeah.
They show up to these addresses and they're not there. But no one's speaking out, but I'm forced to be the one to speak out, and it's not really a clout thing. If it was up to me, I would just be removing people in Arizona. You guys would never see my ugly face, bro. I'd be down there working, earning a living, doing the right thing.
So let me ask you this.
So,
Is there like pushback if you like catch people and you're like, no, I want to ER this
Yeah,
guy's a
of
criminal?
course.
What do they tell you at the...
they just want it done, and they want it done fast. They used to brag about how many files we got done per shift. I'm like, why are we bragging about the files? Let's go as slow as possible. Clog this up immediately.
Yeah.
Why, as my supervisor, why do you want me to do more files? What does that entail?
So they want to get more people in.
Yeah, of course. Because then they have, like, you can only hold people for a certain amount of time. And you're talking about a lot of people, bro.
Yeah. So they're not even
And
like...
then-
Because it used to be, how many ERs did we do? That's not the flex anymore.
No, the flex
It's how
is
many people come in.
OR. How many people we OR? How many little kids do we OR? How many family units, FMUs?
What's the reason?
And then, yeah, that's for you. Yeah, and like,
Okay.
and then the other thing, no, talk about it, bro. I'm not here to stop you. But the other thing, what about all the agent suicides, bro? Why do you think dudes are doming themselves? We're one of the highest rated suicides, man.
Whoa.
Your whole entire. What if you're a 15-year agent? You took the vax because they told you to. You just like whatever, and now you've seen 15 years of work get overturned in like 6 months. Think about all the people that you've caught over the past 15 years. You just saw that all go away. You let in more people in your career than you actually caught.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then,
That's
like, my
crazy.
whole life's a lie. I gave
Yes.
everything. I was divorced. My life
Your
fucked
life's
me. I was on a
work.
man. You know,
Like-
what do you have to live for anymore? I mean, you know, it should
Bro.
your job shouldn't be your life, but how is it not weigh on you, bro? And you can't say nothing or you lose your job.
Have a
Oh
lot of
damn,
guys-
that's like being a doctor and every person you ever operated on died right after. It's like, dog, you came in here to save lives, but that ain't what happened at all. Like you came in here to make sure to clean up the border, but man,
And imagine it was your boss's policy that let that happen.
me and bro got to fight. I'm like, hey yo, boss, oh yeah, I got a little problem here. Can you meet me at the bar? And it's like, bro, like it'd be on right there and then.
That's
Resigned
crazy.
because of these new
No,
mandates
I mean,
with
what's the
immigration?
economy out there? I see the chat. They tell me I'm gonna be an Uber driver, whatever. My father drives a cab. I mean, dude, not a lot of guys want to resign. They want to keep getting money.
Of course,
To
yeah.
me, listen, and everyone has their plan, and everyone's their own man. I'm not gonna sit here and judge. I don't have I have a glass house, bro. But it's cowardly. Let's call it for what it is. I'm here. It's cowardly to at least not speak up. And it took me 3.5 years. It took me a big platform to do it, but I don't know. I'd like you guys' opinion. Do you
Yeah.
think it's cowardly? Do you think it's
No, what's your, like, I mean, me and you talked
do you think
about
it's like
this
a
before.
clout thing for me? Like, it's tough because you got to really reconcile this in your brain, bro. And then I got to go back to work and see what they're gonna do to me.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a lot of
it's,
compartmentalization for this
I
man.
got a
He's
family,
bold
but, you
for
know-
speaking out on this. I even questioned it a second ago. Like, damn, can he
Bro.
go back to his job after saying
Bro,
all this? He got his uniform. I don't know why he did that.
You know what's crazy?
It's hilarious.
Even bro hopped on here and was like, bro, I still gotta go back to work after this. I don't know. I'm like, yo, that says a lot right there. Like,
It's bold.
brave man, because he's putting it all on the line over truth.
It's a testament to the importance of the message. Honestly.
Yeah, he's pretty much saying like, dog, I'm telling you this at the cost of my job. I might not, like, he's pretty much saying, dog, I'm telling y'all this, and I might not be able to provide for my family the next day.
Appreciate the support in the chat.
Man, appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like the video, man.
Oh, my family, they're scared, bro.
And
People
get
are
ready to
scared of the
donate to the
government.
GoFundMe
These are the
for
big
this
boys.
guy.
You're not
God
talking about
damn,
small
because man,
peanuts
he's
here.
gonna need it.
So
I mean, trust me, I know what we're looking at, Border Patrol Internal Affairs, we're looking at Office
One of the
Inspector
Marauders of
General. I know
Justice,
how much you're
man,
putting
of
in. Like,
truth.
That's why me and you spoke before. I said, are you sure you
People
want
like
to do this?
him
Because I
should
already knew
be
what was going to come.
exalted.
I'm a whistleblower.
And I'm not here to push it, but I got right with my God, brother.
Yeah.
Man, God bless
That's
this
the
man.
one.
Honestly,
God
godsend,
bless, bro.
godsend,
Said,
bro.
let's do it
Bless
for the
this
kids,
man,
man.
God bless
Bro,
And I'm not
you
even
ain't
the
gonna
guy
get
that
this
should be talking about
perspective
this.
anywhere else but from somebody who actually is dealing with the situation firsthand.
Like, ain't no way,
Bro.
So there's a bunch of agents, we talk about it all the time.
That's
They're smarter
so
than me. They
sad.
talk without an accent. They went to better school, whatever. But it's like, yo, I got to do what I got to do. I got to step up.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
I think at this point,
It's mind-blowing.
yeah, because bro, I don't know how many people will actually do this willingly.
Yeah.
and that's bravery. What I will say though is, you should go on different podcasts too as well.
Yeah, low key, you should go on many other
Yeah, no,
I
podcasts.
no,
want you guys to help. I want you guys to help me too. I want you guys to help me and like keep
get
an
this
eye
out.
on me, brother.
Yeah.
Keep. What if they? What if whatever the consequences? I still got a family. I need to be able to reach out to somebody to like keep the story out in the
And
public.
we will. We
Oh
have
God, bro, I ain't gonna lie though. Like, bro, get him on with Sneeko, bro. Get him on. Hey, what's that? Oh man, but like, yeah, pretty much get him on with Sneeko. G, get him on with Tucker Carlson. I don't care, but make sure you get him on people who could pay my man's. Give at least like that Charleston White deal, like the $20K an interview.
Yeah, he's got to.
He might need
Knowing
his
the
own
risk
shit.
that this comes with, I'm not gonna lie, he might have to go full in on this. Like I always say, it is kind of dangerous for people who work in the private sector to kind of expose themselves to some of the internet shit, because you never know the backlash that come with that. You do a podcast on Monday, they pulling you in HR Tuesday morning.
Man.
Like, yeah, we seen your video. We need to talk.
And shout out to Fresh and Fit, bro. Just shout out to Fresh and Fit. That's the podcast, Fresh and Fit podcast. Border Patrol agent exposes the U.S. border crisis.
Appreciate everybody in the chat, man.
Man,
I don't know,
Putting
man. It's
y'all
like
on.
it's
We
a
got y'all.
catch-22, bro. Like, do you do it? Do you not? But wait on me, bro. It's like the taste in your mouth. Like you don't have no flavor no more. Like you're going through life. Before it was catching people, returning them. It's what you signed up and expected. Now you come home to your girl and you're just like, we let another XYZ in. Like I told you about that NTAOR, because these NTAOR guys that are getting let in, they're committing crimes, and we're not charging them for those crimes. So like. They're getting.
Tell the story that you told me before with the drug trafficker. So, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and then can you remind me about the child endangerment stuff?
Yeah, sure. I'll write that
Okay.
down.
I just
Go
want to
ahead
tell
and
this.
hit us with that story you told me
Walter,
earlier.
let me explain. Let me
Crazy
break
story
it
here.
down. So we let this guy in on an NTAOR, right? So imagine you're coming from whatever country, you go to the border, we process you within 2 days, and now you get a plane ticket wherever you want to go.
well,
That wasn't good enough for you, Walter. You want to bring even more people into my country, our country, right? It's all of our country, right? You have papers, bro. You better have your papers on you. No, I'm saying- okay, Walter. Yeah. No, but so it wasn't enough that we let you in. You're getting all this money. Now you gotten flown. You understand that part. Now they come back to the border to go get their buddies in.
what?
That have probably committed crimes because they can't get an NTOR because some people we don't give the NTOR
Hold on,
to.
bro.
Okay.
Maybe they committed a crime in
Nah, this
America.
is
They
sick.
beat their wife in a DUI.
Okay.
You telling me like, all right, not only can I finesse in here, but I can finesse so hard I can go back down there to the people I was supposed to show up to court for and get deported back to and be like, yeah, now let my peoples in.
You know what? Now I see why they didn't show this man's face in the thumbnail.
Hell yeah.
And appreciate you, Jake Peters. Another $5 super chat from my man.
There is a huge battle unfolding, man. Light versus dark. Very real, people. This is very real. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Man, look, I like to think of things on a very spiritual perspective sometimes, but yes, bro, there are evil forces that are working against the good forces. And the thing is that they always say the devil works 24 hours, 7 days a week, because evil does. Like, you have to hold on to positivity, or negativity is going to take you for a ride. And right now, that's what's happening to America, because we're not holding on to positivity no more. We're just letting the negativity, the divisiveness, and all this other good stuff take us for a ride. And this is where it's going to lead us to. Like,
And to your point, I like Tate's analogy on that, man. Like, you guys have all played video games at some point in your life, man. The bad guy got all the extra HP.
Yeah.
He got special attacks. You hit him once, it's like a quarter of health. He hits you once, it's like half of your health.
man,
Like, yeah, the evil, low key,
always has the advantage.
they always do, man. But when the good side wins, it's so much more rewarding, so much more comforting. It means more.
Man, ain't it crazy, though? Like, actually, you know what's funny? If you're a Star Wars fan, bro, does this let you know that evil always has the best shit, but if you work for good, you get better outcomes? Bro, in Star Wars, who had the best technology? Who had the best technology in Star Wars? It was the dark side. Who had the lightning powers, all that? They had more power in everything. They started off on a better footing than the good guys.
R.P. James Earl Jones.
Man. And what happened? Eventually the good side won, even though the dark side had more power, more technology, more everything, more influence, and they still won. Bro, that's what we're going through right now.
And shout out another $10 super chat. We appreciate you, Gerard. My man said, what did he say, said?
I think he said, Russ never sleeps.
Yes, sir.
Man, appreciate that, man. We appreciate you.
And they got a gun on them, or they're doing it for money. They're going to pick up, like, you're here, you're like, I want to make money. Like, all right, we got this guy from whatever country. He's a bad dude. You're going to bring him in. You're not going to go without being strapped.
Oh, yeah,
So you have a gun on you, and you're doing a little meth, whatever. You got drugs. So now he's at the border with drugs and a gun, personal use drugs, and a gun, picking up more people. Do you follow that so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Then he gets arrested because that's illegal. You can't have this guy in your car. You can't have drugs. You can't have a gun.
But he's
Locally,
there, though.
they didn't charge him. They gave him to us. Our AUSA, our Assistant U.S. Attorney General,
Assistant United States Attorney, federal prosecutor, guys.
Yeah,
Federal
yeah, like a DA, local DA. He doesn't charge. So we just take the gun, take the drugs, NTOY that guy. He gets flown wherever he wants, maybe.
Whoa.
And the other guy doesn't. He just gets released. So, like, if I'm driving through New York with a gun, I'm probably looking at 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Without license, they just getting off scot-free, uncharged.
No way.
Oh, yeah, I seen it, dude.
Like,
Yo, they have more rights than us. What's
Crazy,
the fuck?
right?
Yeah, more rights. And then,
crazy,
then I
right?
had another case. Then I had another
That's
that I
wild.
witnessed. It wasn't me. I had another one with the child endangerment. Mexican mother, Mexican father, and a daughter. Were they all related? Most likely they seemed to be. The girl was 9. They were all in a trunk. Driving on Interstate 10.
He's spin.
Get pulled over.
Russ equals
They were in the
evil.
trunk. They get pulled
Equals
over
the
by a drunk
praise,
driver.
the truth.
Well, stay
I
with
love
me. Yes,
it.
they get
I
pulled over
love
by a
it.
drunk driver. 2 parents and a kid in the trunk. 3 people.
Okay, so they get pulled over by local law enforcement.
Stone Garden, which is local law enforcement working for
Okay,
us.
but the driver was drunk.
Yeah, because the guy's swerving all over the road.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can basically just go on any road in America, close your eyes, put your lights
What
on.
is this? Arizona State Police?
Yeah,
Stop them?
DPS,
DPS,
yeah,
okay,
which is
yeah.
the state police.
Yeah, Department of Public Safety.
And by the way, on that road, you can close your eyes, put your lights on. You'll probably pull over people getting trafficked.
I believe it.
Without the
Interstate Highway
papers.
10, guys, it starts in Jacksonville and it goes all the way to LA, one of the most popular smuggling highways. But continue on, sorry.
So-
Damn, he
Yeah.
said anybody you pull
So now,
over probably got an
not only
immigrant or
did
two in their
like,
back
if you want to do it
seat.
for yourself, that's whatever. Like, if you want to go in a trunk and get trafficked, but you bring your daughter, you bring your friggin' 9-year-old daughter, beautiful little girl, bro, like a normal little girl. And the mother, like, you're adults, you bring your daughter, and the guy is drunk. Not only you don't even check the guy, you don't even have an option to say like you're shit face, you're drunk. I don't want to go in your trunk. Gets pulled over. I forget what happened to the guy, but they didn't get in child endangerment charges. Think about that. Isn't that a child endangerment?
Yo.
In 110-degree
We
weather.
didn't even hold him to the same
Took
standard of
115 out
laws.
that day.
In the trunk.
In the trunk.
Aliens died
Damn.
doing that.
In the trunk.
With your daughter. Like, do you know how angry I'm Italian. I got a little bit of a temper. I mean, it wasn't a happy day for me. And you got to go home after that and say, we let that guy in the country. Mamma mia.
Yeah,
Wait.
Fucking crazy, man. And just so the audience understands, endangerment, right? So
Yeah,
if you
low-key,
catch someone smuggling illegal aliens, right? And they put the aliens in a
Yeah, look, yeah, I probably lost my temper too. I'd probably start swinging on, bro. I'm like, so you got your daughter in here where she could have, come over here, bro. Just start really taking off on, bro.
situation, whether
ain't
it's the trunk
no
of a car in
way.
hot weather or the windjammer in the trucks.
If you're gonna get into this
or,
country, at least you can get your ass
in
whooped
the back
first.
of a-
Was that
of a
his
trailer
daughter or was
that's
he just
heated.
smuggling him? I know that was her
the person
mom,
that
but
smuggles them
either
typically
way,
gets an
that shit's
enhancement of
sick.
endangerment
Either
where they
way,
get more
you
time.
take bro to
But
the side and
now-
be like, all right, bro.
Not
Hey,
only
yo,
are
what the
they
hell?
like letting the illegal
Come here,
aliens
bro.
in that were brought in, they're not even charging the smuggler. Like you gave that example where the guy was a legal alien, goes into the country, comes back to smuggle other aliens because that's a whole other crime. Coming in illegally versus smuggling aliens in is another crime.
It's like worse.
And the prosecutor's offices are so overwhelmed, I guess, that they're not even taking these felony charges for human smuggling, which is AUSC 324 for the audience if you guys want to nerd
Do you
out.
remember there's a
is
verse
crazy.
in the Bible that talks about the end times, and it says, wrong will be right, right will be wrong?
Yeah.
It's happening right now.
It's happening. I love the Christian talk because I came to God. I love it. Listen, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Faith without works is dead. If you consider yourself a Christian, faith without works is dead, and that's all I'll say, man.
Yeah.
You can see where I stand. I'm not a perfect guy. I'm gonna go out and sin a lot. But faith without works is dead. You can call me whatever. You can't say I don't believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was other things. We have, up in Canada, they get smuggled. Like we have a lot of Haitians that we let in from Canada.
I was going to ask you about the Northwest border. What's going on there? So obviously we talked about the Southwest border. It's all fucked up.
Can someone Google like Swanton sector? The statistics are crazy. It's like insane. Like I don't want to get the wrong.
Damn.
It's
you
crazy.
telling me you got problems at the Northwest border too?
I think the last 23 years.
Bro, what border isn't under attack?
Damn.
Yeah, dude. So I go up there to get away from this to clear my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I can't be around this. It was closer to Boston too. I want to be, my mother makes a good lasagna. So lasagna kid. I call my mother. I go, she's a 68-year-old woman. I say, Ma, get up here now. 3 hours later, she's in the.
Come up here, Ma.
Yeah. But so I'm not gonna say like I got up there, but I was like, oh, it'll be slower. I'm not gonna have to watch these people just get let in every day. I'm gonna have to assist it. No. It was slammed, bro. And a lot of Haitians, they get immediate NTAOR. And it's
Italian
like
mom,
below
they should be
freezing.
packing bags.
Like,
Oh, God.
25, they're walking in a field, their kids don't even have jackets on.
She ain't
bro.
playing about that
the
boy.
woman, and I'm not trying to be, I'm really not trying to be funny, but this is kind of sick. The woman was more conservative about her weave. I'm like, I got to take your hair out, lady. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, I got to search you.
Yeah.
You could have something. She's like, yeah. And then she had like chicken. I'm like, I'm throwing your chicken wings in the basket in the way. You can't have food when we let you in the country.
Yeah.
I go, you're more concerned about your chicken wings and your weave than your kid not having a coat on in
Nah,
30-degree weather.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bro.
Man, that just kind of pissed me off.
I mean,
Yeah, they got it. They got it.
just like
okay.
if you go
Did
to
you want us
news,
to show this?
the
That just
news,
pissed me off.
What did you want us to type in?
just like Swan sector border, like busy.
Okay, busyness. Okay, or
Yeah, like encounters.
encounters.
You didn't go to like news or something.
Yeah, encounter.
Put images.
Wow.
Possibly.
Images ain't gonna help, bro. You gotta put. Yeah,
If you just hit news, it'll pop.
yeah, put news.
No, you just click the news button. Yeah.
That
Wreckage.
infuriated me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
record migrant traffic from Canada prompts border patrol
Shit, bro.
agent surge
What
and
the
new
fuck
limits
are we
on asylum
doing?
seekers. So what are they doing? Are they coming into Canada and then coming through the border?
For
How are they doing this?
a while, you could fly from Mexico to Canada on like a week visa. They did stop that. You could just fly to Canada on a visa, like vacation there. Then you.
So some illegal aliens were exploiting this Canadian visa to do this.
Yeah.
It's a Canadian visa.
Which is on them.
Yeah, so they get this Canadian visa that gives them a week, and they literally just use that to get up there and then come into the Northwest border.
And some people go into Canada. Oh, dude, up north is crazy. We have people. My station's the #1.
And quick shout out to everybody in the chat, man. All the supporters, man. 14K, man.
14K.
Set and Key Media.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Once again, man. Clearing another milestone with the game. Well, with the Set and Key Media community. Let's go, man. Let's go. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all.
This should be for y'all, man.
On station, I believe.
Appreciate the support,
If it's
everybody.
not the top 3,
Road to
so long,
15K. We
have
right there,
450
y'all.
drive-thrus. That's when you drive through the border.
Make sure to
which
like
is
the
a whole
video.
other thing.
Okay.
Imagine that you get into a car, you're that wild. You get into a car and you drive across the border. That's like a whole another thing. That's like
Are they not even getting checked in? Like they just come in?
no. Then we NTA. Then they'll go on like chases, kind of like quad. We don't even say.
Oh shit.
And they're getting the cop. So then it's like a rental car. So then they're getting NTO out after they drive through if it's a family unit.
Crazy.
So let me get this straight. They get a Canadian
Cook
visa.
right now, yeah, cook
they get.
right
So
now.
let me just so I make sure I understand. So these crooks are getting a Canadian visa
They even find like gypsies from Romania, like whatever country, gypsies.
from everywhere.
They're gypsies. Yeah.
They get these visas.
Damn,
Like
get
certain
Tyson
countries.
Fury?
I don't want to say.
What are
like,
the
I
main
don't
countries you would say that do
You
this?
get a lot of Irish
Haitians?
gypsies, a lot of Irish travelers, a lot of
Irish.
Haitians, a lot of Romanian travelers, a lot of English travelers.
Okay, so they get this visa, go to Canada,
Get a rental car.
get a rental car, come into the country.
Like drive into the country.
They just drive
physically.
in.
Like they'll get like we have like
They don't
barriers.
stop.
Some of
You
them
gotta
get
chase
stuck
them.
on the barriers. Some of them get stuck. Like, yeah.
And then some of them run from you guys,
Oh yeah.
and they don't
We
even get
know about the
prosecuted.
border.
They
That's right
just
there
get
in the Cleveland, Detroit area. Wild as hell.
Damn.
Wild as hell.
Huh. Well, man, you got it. Yeah, keep going.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And then some of them run from you guys,
Oh yeah.
and they don't even get prosecuted. They just get an NTAOR.
Yes. And then the car gets towed for we don't seize the car. We tow it for storage, and they go back to the car rental. They go back to
Canada.
No. That we tow it in America, and they're able to go get the car back.
No way.
They go use the car again. They go to the tow yard to get the car back, dude. And I'm the crazy one, and I'm sitting here and I'm crazy. What for speaking out, dude? I didn't sign up for that part.
So they get chased, and then you guys apprehend them, give them an NTAOR, then they go get the car back that they were running from. You guys.
Wow.
Yo.
And then we're not
Might as
supposed to
well let
talk
'em
about. We're
go.
not supposed to speak to the media. And I just want to say this for everyone that's
Might as
questioning
well
what
keep
I'm
them
doing.
running and
You're
let
not
them
supposed to
think
talk
that
about
they're-
rights,
you're
you just
chasing
hold
after
silence.
them.
You know that.
Man.
Of course, yeah.
Immigrants are
I
coming
just
in.
start playing the most
Forget about this.
effed up game.
Talk to speech.
Oh, that was $100.
Oh, shout out to you, Dr.
Yeah.
B84. Immigrants are coming in. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Eyes on. Come on.
Forget about it. Sorry, keep going.
No, yeah, do all the super chats. I want you guys to be successful.
Yeah,
man.
no, you good,
I
you
want you
good.
guys to go and prosper and have a good life.
Shit, we might need to get him a GoFundMe after this.
Yeah, we'll,
That's what I was saying.
We said the same shit.
Oh, like, dog.
Like shit,
You know what I mean?
dog.
My parents.
we're gonna be
We
in
need you
contact.
around, bro.
No,
finish what you were saying.
I forgot already. My brain.
They run away and then they still get NTAs.
Oh no, I was gonna say about
Bro, there's so many people that low key
So
would.
we're not really supposed to talk
Joe
about it all
Rogan?
because it's like against the policy.
Yeah,
So
Joe
what I
Rogan
would say is,
would.
and
I think
said this
the
earlier,
story
I
would do
took
well
an
on
oath,
PBD.
the same oath that
Oh,
I
his
believe you
PBD was
took
same one,
to
yeah.
protect the country against enemies,
Legendary.
foreign
Yeah,
and domestic.
get this man into
But I'm
contact
not
with some
supposed to
folks.
talk
Shit,
about
we would
this,
love
which
to
is my
interview him our
policy.
damn
That's
self.
Bro, him and
supersede
Vinny would
my
be like
duty to
this.
let the
Oh,
American public
man.
know what's really happening.
Good point.
Because I haven't given you guys an opinion
Yeah.
All
Those are all things that
facts,
are really
no
going
cap.
on.
that I've seen.
Yeah.
So where does that, even out? I don't know. I have a duty to let the public know. Don't you feel a little bit safer now knowing?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're on guard now. You're like, wait a second, this is like bad, bro.
What you've told me
You might
today is
start
fucking
looking
shocking.
at people a little.
As someone that came
And I'm
from
not
Some
even
of these
that
people
smart.
you've
Yeah,
seen a little
yeah.
different.
Appreciate
Someone that
everybody in
came
the
from
chat,
that
man.
and
Appreciate
knows
all y'all
exactly what
tuning
you're
in,
talking about.
dog,
We're
for
talking about
real.
how we process illegal aliens and
Shout out
lesbians
to
in this
y'all.
country
Just
right
hit
now
14K,
versus
man. We
a few
appreciate
years
y'all.
ago.
Go ahead and
But you see
subscribe
the
to the
pictures
channel
It's
as well.
shocking.
Yeah.
I mean,
What the fuck is Mayorkas doing? Because I don't know if he was the Secretary of Homeland Security when I was in.
What have any
Like,
of us doing?
Yeah, like what is he like?
Talking about Mayorkas, so then I went and I tried to talk to a senator, and I did. I went to Capitol Hill, kid. Your boy was at the big one of the building, the Senate Hart building, talking to Ron Johnson. Jeez, the stomach's not doing too good. It's a little too much.
I'm weak.
wait, so what did he say?
Nah, he's
seemed like a good
stocky.
kid. You're
He's
probably
not
better off
necessarily
saying
lean,
nothing,
but he got
pretty
some
much.
muscle on him. I see it.
Wow,
He's at
He's
best
just
I can
stocky,
write
bro.
you a
He's
letter
Italian.
and to help you out if you go public. At best I
It's
can
that
write you a letter.
lasagna, man.
Oh, God.
You told him what you told us.
Don't think he ain't benching some
He
shit,
gave me
though.
like 10, 15 minutes, bro. He didn't really. He was like, yeah, we've been down this road before.
Nah,
They're
dude
their own
stood up,
agency
I've
if you
been
don't
on
want to work.
Tulsa,
you
I
know.
know.
Yeah, that too.
I'm like, dude, I signed up to protect my country. Like, you think I care? You got me confused with somebody that cares. Like, I care about my country.
Yeah,
I
on
don't
God,
care
bro.
about
It
paycheck,
is
bro.
3:33 a.m.
I'm
where we
working.
at, but we
You
do
know,
it for
whatever.
y'all, man.
See,
So then he's like, yeah, if the House members can maybe subpoena you, but Senate doesn't have subpoena power. I can at best write you a letter. I'm like, how about you show some support and say this kid has the urgency to come forward. Sorry.
this is what I was mentioning earlier when I spoke to you. The people of powers that be, they don't care. So they know what's happening, as you stated earlier, and it's like, they don't give a fuck.
That's what's
So
most
you telling
alarming.
people about it, they're like, okay, go ahead. We'll just fuck you up and then continue on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they don't care.
That's true.
And that's why I'd urge people to really look into God. Look into your God. I'm not here to preach, but look in, because when you get that strength and that power, bro, it's so powerful that you don't care.
I'll tell you this. The best message to give people is God. That's
Listen,
it.
I'm not here to preach it. I'm
I
just
know,
telling
I
you,
know.
but I
I'm
wouldn't be
just
here
saying.
otherwise.
Yeah.
I'd probably be on a street corner if I
Gotta beat out the competition, Jake.
Like I said, both my brothers were drug addicts. The cycle continues. So, but they think that and I don't want to get too preachy, but
This
they
one
think
y'all
that
up,
life
so
is
this
all
one y'all
that
need the
matters,
content.
material,
Nah.
the thing, the courage. I gotta
It's a
have,
test.
bro. If I can't do right by my, I'm God, country, family.
For the convenience
I'm
of living on
God,
the West.
country, family.
God.
When I took this job, I said, I'm not gonna. If you're trying to protect the country, you run into a door. Listen, I've been shot at, but that's like a whole nother thing. But if you run into that door and you're trying to protect America, I'm behind you, bro. I'm not the best marksman. I'm not a Green Beret. I'm going
Shout
regardless
out.
if I got to
Shout
wear
out.
Appreciate
kids
the
or not.
international viewers.
Man.
So I'm God, country, family. So I got to put the country first. And I got
God,
to speak
country,
out.
family. I love
my
it.
family and I take
Oh, okay, you on
consequences,
West Coast
so be it.
timing? That's what's up, bro. Appreciate you,
Damn.
dog.
So what else would you say? Actually, no. We'll read some chats.
All right,
and then,
Gerard, catch you later,
and then
bro.
I'll get into the next question here because we've been. That was crazy. What do we got here?
Hey,
we
man,
got Q Chell
appreciate
says,
you.
"Do you guys worry about random shootouts from the Mexico side?" Okay, good question. Nav says, "Y'all gonna stream for the debate tomorrow? W Haitian takeover in Ohio, Sacafet." Okay, we will.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be here for the debate. Well, Key's gonna be here for the debate, so it's gonna
It'll
be
be
you and
live
Key.
watch party, y'all.
Oh God, I
Make
will
sure to
be.
tune in.
I'll be in the chat, so don't worry. I'll be also watching as well. I will be mostly at work, dying. Like what?
You know we gonna turn up for that one tomorrow, y'all. So go ahead and set it now in y'all calendars. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you got your post notifications on. We gonna turn up for that one.
Oh man, and go ahead and set that timer for 9.
Yep, because this is gonna be a live watch party, y'all. We doing it big.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's asking, do you worry about random shootouts from
Yeah,
the mic
great.
side?
There's actually,
We
yeah,
do that
so,
live and
I'm not reinventing the
knock
wheel as a
out.
border agent. One of our, like, things that you kind of know, you don't really typically want to go too close to the border. It's a good tactic, right? You don't want to be right up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be a sit and duck. I'll let the guy come to me.
Yeah, because they could fire from over
Yeah,
there.
we got y'all.
So
We're
you
gonna
don't
do
be too
yep.
close to the wall.
You
So
got
if
you,
you have to
Gerard.
go up, you have to go up. But typically, you want to stay a little bit back, just as a tactic.
Fresh, you have come a long way, G. Mo, love your weight loss. Keep killing it. Bills, you OP with the camera work. Solid addition to the team. Iron, I look up to you, bro. Will you cover
You know
the
what?
debate live tomorrow, please? Yeah,
I
we will.
agree.
And that was a $100
Fresh House came
Shout out
on.
to you, bro.
I've enjoyed his commentary recently.
Thank you. What else do we got here? What the fuck? This is a bombshell. I got to show this to everyone. Thank you, Fresh. Damn.
for real.
The Equal Freshie. Thank you, Mr. Apotheker, for your service. Absolutely, guys. He's a
Anybody
real
who
G.
thinks immigration isn't
where
as big
can
of
the
an
people,
issue as they say it is.
Support you, by the way, bro. Your Twitter.
I didn't do this for money or
I
nothing.
know,
I got a Twitter.
Yeah.
I think the chat was shitting on me. I don't know.
Anybody
if
who
people...
thinks you're inflating the issue about immigration. Anybody who says these people aren't coming over here and committing crimes, they're coming over here for opportunity and opportunity alone.
CBP1, can you tell the people what that is? Because I've never
This
even heard
video
of this.
shut
Can you
them
tell
people right up.
And I don't want to get caught up in technicalities, be wrong. So I'm a little scared to openly speak because I'm on
you
an
still gotta
extra. I've been
cover
working.
world
I was
news.
telling Walt, he's like,
Go ahead and go
I'm
straight to
working,
world
bro. I don't
news
have
on that
time to
one.
know about this.
All right, Linda,
I'm
we'll
working
catch
too,
you.
So I'm not, I'm
Appreciate
working
the
CB1.
viewership
From what I
and the
understand, it's
super
people
chats.
getting flown from. They're not even
Man,
present.
appreciate you, Linda and
Aren't you supposed to present yourself at the port, Myron?
Yes.
So the other thing is they're not when you present yourself for asylum claim, because that's what these NTAORs are. They're saying I want an asylum. They're actively trying to get away a lot of times, and then they're saying claiming asylum.
Yeah.
Hey,
allowed to do
appreciate
that,
Linda,
so claim
man,
this-
heading out with the super sticker, man. Appreciate you, Linda. We appreciate you, sister. We appreciate you. Trust me, one of the proud supporters. Appreciate you, sister.
You go to a port, you show up and say, I need asylum.
Yeah.
And you should be able to get it from a third country. So how are you claiming asylum when you're in Canada? You're already safe in Canada.
Yeah.
And for all the info that you
So
dropped,
then,
we
so that's the other
appreciate
thing.
that as
Like,
well.
so-
I'll be.
Like, do you know what a port is?
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'll be looking out for that email from you for the suggestion. I'll go ahead and make it a part of the show later on after the debate.
Like if like you're gonna like cross, there's like a
Key
lane.
gonna cover
I
the
could
debate,
explain
and I'm
it
gonna
to you.
slide in later
Guys,
on for the
port of
late
entry
night.
could be anywhere where you're able to legally enter the United States. It could be an airport. It could be a port of entry where you're driving in, etc. It's POE is what they call it, port of entry. And at these port of entries, you're going to see guys in blue uniforms, CBP, Office of Field Operations Officers. These guys are the ones that allow you in legally. Now, if you see green uniform, Border Patrol, that means you shouldn't be coming in the United States here. So that's kind of the easy way I explain it to
Yeah,
people.
and then they're claiming asylum from that.
Yeah.
So then we're just, but that's like, well, you tried to cross illegally. You're not trying to claim asylum.
Yeah.
That's a backup plan. Should negate that. Now CBP1, they're flying them in from different countries.
Directly?
Direct.
What the fuck?
Bro, crazy.
Bro,
Direct.
what?
So
Are you serious?
Bro,
they're not
I
even
told
having
you.
to go through the trouble of going to a port of entry in America.
Bro, I
just
told
getting
you,
a
they're
flight
like-
paid for by the taxpayer.
Yeah,
And a lot of
they're
times these
getting
flights like
flown
land
here.
in the middle of the night. It's like they're
Like,
doing it
bro,
under the cover of dark.
From straight from their country,
Bro,
though?
yeah, I heard Chinese immigrants was getting that luxury, and there were some other countries, but yeah, you can take the flight over here and here.
Are you serious? Just bypassing all the bullshit, really?
Like I said, it's a flood of people in America. Like they're trying to make us into the UK, and we're gonna have them UK problems, and then by then it's gonna be too late.
One-way ticket to
What the fuck?
America.
Like how would they?
And this is funded by
No offense to
CBP?
my UK people,
Yeah.
but I know y'all
You
know
can
how
make
bad
an
that
online
immigration
appointment.
is, man.
Look it up. I don't want to be wrong.
Okay.
We
Look it up.
ain't,
Maybe you're doing your
we ain't trying to
appointment,
get
but I know
there.
we're flying people in. I don't know if it's connected to the CBP1 app. Like, I don't want to claim I know all this stuff.
Okay.
You got to look at it. Just look into it. Like, I know it's like a funny thing to say, but like, look into it.
Okay. So CBP is
They're like
basically
Nah, I mean,
people coming in.
Look into it.
Making it easier. Everything's to make it easier. And people say that the government, what's the one thing you hear when you go to the RMV, DMV? Oh, we're inefficient. We're inefficient. Well, over the last 4 years, I've seen some serious efficiency to get this country filled with people that really shouldn't legally be here.
Borders are? Anybody?
Yeah, this has been all under Kamala Harris.
Yo,
She's the border czar, right?
All under Kamala is crazy.
This
Like,
is
look.
what you call
I thought that was bad, but like everything else that we're hearing, and this is all under Kamala. This isn't, bro. This is not bad. This is atrocious. This is egregious. It's like there ain't really too much bad words I could really use without me starting to get like without me starting using profanity at a certain point.
Nah, facts.
This is just terrible. It's like at this point, I just need to clip this part and be like, look, man, y'all just need to see this before you vote for Kamala and Biden, because this is what they've allowed, and they've allowed the suicide or the self-deletion of their own border patrollers just to let in immigrants.
Downright disrespectful to the taxpayer, because all this shit is funded with taxpayer money. They're getting
Man.
flown straight here from
So,
NGOs
you're-
with taxpaying money.
So you're pretty much putting your people in danger. You're killing the morale of the Border Patrol, and you're not benefiting the American people in any way, shape, or form. Okay. But there's still people who's going to vote for them. That is...
presenting a national security issue, too.
I ain't even going to say nuts. I'm just going to say, all right, man. I guess we're not even going to call them crazy. We're just going to call them ill-informed at this point.
The downfall of America, literally.
Well, I'm really glad we're having this conversation so that, and it's an election year. The American public needs to know this shit, man. Who's been in charge all this time?
And you talk about elections. I mean, it's everything's connected. The drugs, the election. Look at all these extra people now.
Who are going to vote Democrat?
They can't. I don't know about the vote, but I'm saying it's like when you talk about muddy in the water.
Yeah.
You're talking about 15 million people, I think the number is. We don't even know the real number.
Hold on. My man's question, why are they doing this?
Trump
Maybe
reports
that's the
numbers
reason
up to
why.
20.
One of them.
We can speculate.
Well,
Right?
there's a lot of terrorists on the FBI watch list from like, and I'm not trying to profile, but there's a lot of terrorists that are coming here on a jihad mission, bro.
Yeah.
I
And,
imagine this an hour.
I respect of all people.
45 minutes.
But the FBI is saying like there's a lot of
for Kamala. Yeah, you're right.
Kamala
It'll be
can't-
quick,
bro.
They got
It'll be
paroled in
quick.
and they're
Quick and easy.
I guarantee you the debate's only going to be like 30 minutes to an hour because Kamala cannot debate longer than 30 minutes.
It'll be quick.
It'll be hella quick.
like a terrorist.
And they shouldn't have been, yeah.
They
Plus,
shouldn't
walls
have been,
carry it.
Because they're trying to...
And
obviously-
shout out Jake Petersman, another $20 super
you.
chat.
that
Yes,
one from
sir,
me, dog.
man. He said these are the people that will be quick to sign off on universal basic income. Oh, a socialist policy. Yes. This is part of the Agenda 2030. These are the people that will be quick to sign off on. Okay. I got you. Repeated it twice. Okay, cool.
Actually, you know, it's so crazy. Like, this Agenda 2030 has been happening since 1930, so it's really the 100-year plan.
And they say that great replacement doesn't exist.
Yeah, the 100-year plan incorporated by, I believe, the Bilderberg Group.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or the Medallion Fund, one of them two.
They're streamlining this shit. So people come from these, special interest countries, SIAs,
You remember
and they're not getting scrutinized.
Mohammed Atta?
Yeah, they want a visa. Yep.
And then they're also, and I'm jumping the gun. They're, and no pun intended, they're tightening gun laws around the country too a lot of the time. So now we're getting our firearms taken away, and all these other people are coming in. It's like if you ever needed a gun, I would say now's the time to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You mentioned
Can't take
earlier
my gun.
that
Can't
there's
take
some
my
brass
gun, you
doing
can't
some
take my
things that they
steak,
shouldn't be doing.
man. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and this is I don't have a all I know is first of all, if you're let me talk about the brass. If clearly I'm not like the type of guy to make chief here, but if I was, I wouldn't put my name on this. I'm not even putting my name on as an agent. Imagine if you rose through the ranks. You were 13, GS 13.
Yep.
Imagine if you rose up 14, 15. You're a leader of your agency.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you step down? Would you make a statement, or would you just fall in line? Honestly.
Yeah, you're gonna
Like
fall
a
in line most of
coward.
the time.
No, but what would you personally do?
Oh, me. If I was
Still in HSI.
Tough to say.
yeah, and I went up through the ranks.
And you were just like the dude. You were that guy. Yeah, you got groomed.
For
to be
somebody
that
like
guy,
me
do
or
the whole
you,
thing.
the answer would be
And
obvious.
this was
Like,
going
hell
on.
nah, fuck
Like,
all that.
oh.
Like, I ain't going. I got my integrity and my morals. But for a lot of these guys, like he said, 6-figure plus, family at home.
It'd have been like, I don't know if I want to risk it.
Like, gosh, it's tough.
Like, bro, they kind of leave
get
them,
it.
Yeah, they kind of leave them tied in. And it's like, damn, so you going to sacrifice the American people for 6 figures?
Thinking about it, but even before that, they were telling these guys, take the jab or lose your job. So they've been show that they got the control and leverage over these guys. It's sad.
Man,
Oh
you're
no!
right.
We got to put an end to this shit.
You'd say I'm either quitting or I'm speaking publicly like I'm doing, or
Yeah.
But yeah, but then our chief Jason Owens,
He's the chief of all of Border Patrol.
Border Patrol, yeah.
Okay, Jason Owens. Okay.
I don't have many running. I never really had a run-in with the guy. My buddy jogged past him at the academy. He didn't really say hi to him because at that time he was an academy chief, whatever. He was in Mexico. And didn't disclose that he was in Mexico with another woman, Gloria Chavez, who's also high up, and they were.
What does she do?
She's some high-level politician that's a
The
border patrol
okay.
agent.
American
She's a border patrol agent, but basically a politician. They get to that level. It's very political.
These are
Deputy chief of-
They're SESs basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Alright,
in
they up there.
Mexico with the grandson of the Don Julio maker for his birthday. Undisclosed, I think in Guadalajara or Jalisco.
Wow.
And he's there with a cigar. They got a picture of him. He's got a cigar in his mouth and a cup of wine while this crisis is going on. And he's like, yeah, I was trying to create a border patrol tequila with Don Julio. Just didn't tell anybody about it. What?
Nigga, are you?
And
I mean,
there was another guy.
I'm sorry, but
Really, nigga?
low key. That low keep in my face the whole time. Like, ain't no
And
way.
then was like the heir of some like Uniship a global. Like this probably will get me killed. Let's be honest. I don't know how much longer. But this guy's like the Uniship a global. He owned a shipping company, international shipping company. He just happened to be at the party too. Wow. With the two highest ranking officials during Border Patrol, while my friends are killing themselves, and we're letting in all these people. And I'm thinking, I'm like, if you're that high up in Mexico, don't you probably have some ties that you shouldn't be having, like that Don Julio guy?
Yeah.
But
that is a
but he
huge
spent his
conflict of
birthday down there.
interest.
But he's just, and I don't know what happened with that as far as how that turned out. But listen, kid. I mean, if it's my birthday, I'm probably going to the bar having a few pops at most. I'm not going to Guadalajara or Jalisco, especially as a border patrol.
Yeah,
especially
Oh, wait. He said, yeah, we ain't doing that.
Of all the
Why
towns
you
to go
even if you
to,
are creating a border patrol 100 anniversary,
trust me, it ain't no resort there.
Why? We have bigger problems.
Why are you there?
I appreciate the support
Why
in
you
chat,
there?
man.
Even if you're saying
Y'all
shoot,
still in here, and
why
over
you-
500 of y'all still are, man. We appreciate the support. It's been a fire stream that uncovered a lot. We going 2 hours strong. We gonna keep it going for y'all. Round this video out. Hopefully y'all been enjoying the stream. If you have, man, leave a like, double tap the screen. Also hit the 3 buttons in the upper right hand corner, and we just hit 14,000 subscribers. So go ahead and join in on the journey to 15K. Hit the subscribe button as well, man. We got a lot of exciting things coming up. Debate tomorrow. We having a live watch party, so leave the post notifications on so you don't miss out.
Even get it. We don't want a tequila. We want to stop what's happening across the country.
What the fuck?
Look it up. I mean, these are facts. They're not. I'm not.
Wow.
Again, do they care?
The head of Border Patrol is partying in fucking Mexico with another high-ranking official in the Border Patrol,
Yeah.
talking about
Mexico's
tequila.
crazy.
With a
You know the Mexico
tequila,
parties be lit.
mogul,
That's
whatever
crazy
it's
work
called.
right there,
What's
G.
that
That's
thing called?
crazy
Big
work.
businessman
Yeah.
and shipping logistics.
I ain't gonna lie, Mexico,
businessman.
beautiful
If you
weather.
make it that high up in Mexico, you probably have some ties.
Low
that-
key, though. Low key.
If
That whole
Ladies,
Caribbean
it's
area.
like
Bruh.
things. You're not going to get that high up the ladder in Mexico.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
The more I hear, the more I think.
What the fuck? What a gross. I mean, at best case, this is a gross conflict of interest. But that's fucking crazy.
Even if you're there to make a tequila, but you didn't tell the Border Patrol about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Who are
yeah.
you to make a tequila?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you got to disclose that shit.
Why is it on you to make a tequila?
People don't.
I guarantee you, he doesn't have an outside employment authorization to do that either.
He don't need
Guaranteed.
We don't want a tequila, bro. We want to stop the border crime. We want to
No,
stop.
he don't need one. You know why?
But I'm gonna
He's
probably
clear.
get in trouble, right, for speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Like I came down here on my own accord to do that, but I'm gonna get in trouble with his kids being trafficked, and he's making a tequila in Mexico.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you put your own money. Like, we didn't pay you. Like, this is all you. Like, hey.
But we
I'm
got
coming
enough
out.
tequila, bro.
You have no
Whoa,
financial incentive.
why
You
the
just
hell
wanna
is
get
this
the truth out
book
there.
I was on the Uber here.
$4,000?
Like I'm a religious guy, and like I'm very spiritual and like weird energies. I don't know how that happened in my life. My mother's like a friggin' she's like an Italian witch. It's weird. But I was on a Uber here. Like two get dropped off here. Like the last Uber I took. The guy's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go speak on this podcast. Like, I don't want to bore you, whatever." And that kid's like, "What do you do?" I was like, "If you really want to know, I'm a border patrol agent." He's like, "What are you talking about? My kid's being trafficked." He's like, "This kid's name is Alejandro. I'll never forget it." He dropped me off here. He said my cousin got taken. She's a very pretty young girl. She got taken from us 7 years ago.
Wait, did Jake send it?
On the way here. I'd have to be a psychopathic ego freak to make that
She
up.
wanted us to look
He's
up.
like, she was a very pretty girl, and we knew that she wouldn't have allowed herself to get trafficked, so we think she killed herself, and that's what we like to believe.
You know what's crazy? I was out with Vitaly catching, when we catch the predators.
I would like to do that. If I ask for nothing else, when I lose this shop,
Maybe,
put me
maybe
with
we'll bring you.
Vitaly, bro.
Maybe I'll bring you on when we do it.
I have an idea. We'll start the Fresh and Fit
Catch
a
Predators?
Predator once a week. We could do it better than Vitaly. We could do it better than Gideon. We could do it better than most people.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Nah, not Myron rubbing his beard, bro. I've been like, I don't know, G. I don't know about all that, boy. You may not want to play those games.
And Seth, you did have like that interesting observation about these predator streams, to catch a predator streams that Vitaly and other streamers have been doing. Like a lot of these people are illegal immigrants when they kind of dive into where they came from.
Undocumented, but
Scary as hell, bro.
they here searching for your kid.
Online on these social media websites. And y'all say they coming over here. Oh, they just coming over here trying to get a better opportunity, trying to live a better life in America. Nah, they on these sites predatorially
Man,
preying on your kids.
We can bring Zach with us.
Exactly. He could be the guy.
Just once we
leading the
catch him, though,
charge.
I'm gonna have to walk away because I don't know if I have the impulse control, especially as a regular citizen, because I don't have a job to lose at that point. I might start throwing them things, brother.
That might be your job. You know what I'm saying? But
So
no,
wait,
good though.
yeah.
That's what I said. I've been
people
like that a
wanted me
long
to do it
time
for a
ago.
while.
A lot of people have been catching some.
Because a lot of these predators that we
these
catch,
games.
they're illegal aliens. They're not supposed to be here.
But you know what's crazy about this? There's so many of them now. Guess what? They're coming in through you guys. Well, not you guys, but
Yeah.
those people. And they come in droves.
The kid's cousin.
The work is never
give
gonna
a
be done,
fuck.
bro. We'll have content for days. And victims.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
So we talked about the brass, and then did you want to say something about Mayorkas?
I mean, what is there really to say then? He's at the helm, you know? I mean, I don't know. You guys can expound if you want.
Listen. All these people of high power are in somewhat codes. Not, for example, I'm not saying like they're bad people. I'm just saying.
Yo,
they
yeah,
have
we need
ties in
that,
certain places
Linda.
Where, like,
Please
they
and
get
thank you.
Cleared to do things. Like, for example, I'm sure a guy got cleared to go to Mexico on the low, and it's like, okay, you can do this on the low. But again,
It's crazy.
It's
They
like,
did.
do they care about us as people? They don't.
Well, you know, I don't want to get too political. I think Walter Admiral will like this. A producers. Why are we sending all this money overseas and having the military protect other countries and different bays? And listen, I'm in uniform, so you want to get the other stuff.
No, we won't. We won't.
But why are we though?
Yeah.
Why
No,
don't we
I'm
do
like,
this at our border?
I love
Why
this
don't we
guy's
have the-
perspective, but why is he in uniform? He could have came in a Nike Tech and we wouldn't have really known, but
Nah,
I guess for the authenticity.
Yep, he said, I need to let y'all know what it is. It's like, nah, it's real.
Wow, you gotta respect the boldness.
military at our border.
You're right. You're right. We're putting like a lot of effort into.
All right, we're checking the email
foreign
now.
aid and protecting someone else's border versus protecting our own.
Like serious stuff's happening. Like before I get off, I'm reading names of these girls and what happened to them and people we encountered.
We can go ahead and get into it now, man. Go ahead.
Let's do it.
Do you know how you lose your business
How?
or your country?
How?
You worry about other people's business or their country.
Yeah.
That's how you lose it.
Yeah, it's very
Eyes
true.
are off your country, so whatever happens here,
It's very, very true, man.
Yeah.
This is like shocking shit, though. Like what's going on? I'm fucking appalled.
I'm shocked about. I'm not surprised.
Now that because I know I remember what the immigration system used to be like.
Bro,
This is what he's describing as a 180 bizarre world of what it used to
I
be.
had a professional escort trying to extort me. Nigga, you know what we did behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
And all the laws.
I knew Walter from somewhere.
and all the laws.
Hey, you were a good friend during that too.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Solid friend. All the laws were kind of like lax in New York. Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. But there's one we could do it. I won't say on air, but like, you know, we made things work. But I'm just saying, like, in that whole scenario, it's supposed to mean that people don't care anymore. Like, you're here illegally. Oh, well, you're here. We'll let it slide.
Crazy.
I didn't think I'd be able to shock. I didn't think I was gonna shock you guys. In my head, I was so negative. I was like, "Oh, this isn't really that
No,
new.
dude.
This is
Bro,
nothing."
Dude, like
Bro, content, real estate,
yeah, when
cancel club.
when I was on and we were because I was working hand in hand
I'm
with
glad I
the
could
Border Patrol
help, dude. I'm
agents.
glad I
Yeah,
could help you
no,
guys.
I mean I was working hand in hand with them. I spent more time in Border Patrol stations than
Oh yeah.
than
Got
a
you,
lot
got
of
you,
people.
got
In
you.
plain clothes like the big shot, walking,
Yeah.
big shot. You know what I mean? We're all in the uniform.
Hey man, you know.
He's a
all I
smart
know-
kid. Northeastern's a good school.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
you guys
appreciate
built
that.
something amazing here. God bless you guys.
Thank you. But for me to hear from you what's going on in the border now,
Let me know if that's any
the
better.
American public should be
Audio.
angry. They should be livid that this is going on. I'm shocked, like that this is going on. Like this is fucking the biggest mind blow for me was I used to have to fight to get someone an NTA OR. They had to be an
needed it.
informant. They had to have like great information. They're stopping fucking loads from coming in. They're helping me save kids. Like I had to like fucking do a lot of work to get someone an NTA OR. They're giving it to random gang members now.
I have, and again, healthcare, and then we're releasing from the hospital.
And that is crazy. Like, even aside from that, we just discussed that not only can immigrants sue, but they're offered medical care. This man told a story about how a MS-13 agent was illegally entering the country, fell over the border wall, broke his leg, had MS-13 tattooed on his hand, but he still was given medical surgery to fix and operate on his leg. Wild as hell. And he got the opportunity to sue. He has the opportunity and the choice to sue. It's crazy as hell. They got more rights than us.
Pictures and the date.
This is crazy to me. And then you wonder. Then you look at what's going on in Colorado. You're looking at what's going on.
All that, And when he's in prison, all he has to do is say he's seeking asylum, and they'll let him out in the country. He's free to go.
In these different places where there's like people committing crimes or killing American citizens, no fucking wonder. And no one knows this.
And then they're not calling ICE to go grab him and remove him after that. And they're going on to commit more crime.
You made a good point. People don't care because it's not them. But the moment it's your brother, your sister, your mother,
holy shit.
Bro, at that point, as much as I've gone in my life, I might seriously crack at that point.
Got that
bro.
Italian build.
If it happened to my
stocky.
mother, how can you do this and allow
Well, I
this
say,
at
don't
the
think he
highest
ain't
levels,
strong,
knowing that
though.
I mean, maybe your
I
mother
got some
and
Italian
your family's
homies,
safe, but
they-
even if
they
it
built the
wasn't
same.
your mother, bro.
Oh man.
Ain't
Which
no
could
puss.
lead me to the next point. Like, and I wanted to say I was nervous about doing this. Obviously, you'd be scared, bro. But was Paul Revere nervous when he warned that invaders were coming?
Yeah.
Probably was, bro. He's driving around Boston in a friggin' horse.
Yeah.
I'm here saying this is bad. So
Yeah.
it's I want not that I'm him, but you know.
Man,
but
we appreciate
sorry.
all.
No, you're good.
Kayla Hamilton, 20 years old, July 27, 2022, in Aberdeen, I believe Aberdeen, Maryland, in a mobile home, brutally raped and murdered, strangled with the electrical cord. The murderer stole her card with $6 on it. MS-13 gang member, encountered by Border Patrol.
Wow.
And he
Nah, but we appreciate all first responders and servicemen, whether it be Border Patrol agent, veteran, got somebody in the chat saying they work corrections, and a police enforcement officer. We appreciate all servicemen and public first responders.
he had gang tattoos.
NTOR.
Man, we love y'all, man. Come on now. Keep
Yeah,
up
I
the
mean,
good
he was in
work
the
out
country.
there.
Yeah, he was encountered
For
by us.
real.
And then he was like,
Ain't nobody else gonna
You
say it.
can
We
look up the story.
appreciate
Apparently
y'all.
sold for $100 million.
Cause without y'all, it all went to hell already. I mean, the good ones, y'all kind of buffing it a little bit. Without y'all, it'd just been a tidal wave.
Oh God.
And I hope they get it.
Yeah.
I mean, or her mother did, and as she was being, that whole thing was going on, there was a voicemail, bro, so you could hear it. You know, and he was an MS-13 gang member, and they didn't, like, the government didn't, they refused to produce an audit report related to her murder, so like you're not even getting the information when they requested it. Sorry, let me just go back and
No worries.
of course I lose it as I'm reading it. I'll get there, guys. I'll
Yeah,
get
no
there.
worries.
Yeah.
While you do that,
Some more chats real quick.
Yeah, I could read some chats while you
Yo.
while you pull that up. I mean, this is
So you can't forget her name, Kayla Hamilton. Like,
Kayla
for
Hamilton.
real, yeah.
and she was killed.
And if any of the families want to reach out to me, I'd like to talk, because I lost my brothers to drugs, and it was their own decision, but they were drugs. I came from another country, so I sympathize with you guys, and I want the families to know that I'm going to say the names. Like,
It's the fentanyl,
even though
man.
Border
That's
Patrol
sad.
agents doing this, like, it affects us too, and we feel for you guys, man.
All right, so
People can't even
okay,
have first experiences no more. It's like, I don't, like, first of all, you should never try any hard drug. But here's the thing is, though, even the people who first tried cocaine for the first time die.
Innocently enough.
Bro, try Percocet for the first time, die. It's like, whoa, you can't even experiment no more and find out if you don't like it or not. And of course, you shouldn't like it or not. Or you shouldn't even try. But it's sad to know that, damn, just that one experience take him out the game. It's like, I don't know. It's just very sad what we got going on in America with the immigration. And then it kind of feeds into the fentanyl crisis. So it's like, bro, what is getting fixed in America, honestly? Not the economy, not the border crisis, not the drug crisis. It's like, what's really getting fixed here?
It is scary to think that these bad drugs, these laced drugs, are circulating and everybody has access to them. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with the rapper Rich Homie Quan. He just passed away due to bad drugs, laced drugs. It don't matter if you rich or poor. This shit is really out here in these streets, like literally.
Man, that's so sad though. Like, it's a fail because, come on, bro, drugs still, all right.
And that man was older. Like, come on. But still,
probably
but
a
still.
bad pill though.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said.
Oh, I knew it. The fentanyl.
read some of these. Hey, W. Martin, great guest. Heard you say any police academy sucks.
Yeah,
I started
it
my
wasn't
academy
no
for deputy
kid.
sheriff October 1st.
Yeah,
Any
you know,
advice?
He wasn't broke.
Bro,
You know,
just get it
Yeah.
done. Put your head down. You know,
Kodak
they're
or
gonna
Future
yell
next?
at you. They're gonna treat you like shit. It's gonna suck. You're gonna get maced more than likely. You're gonna get
Kodak or
tased.
Future next, man.
Just accept the fact that embrace the suck.
We
Get
gonna
it
be on
done. It's,
stream for
most police
nothing but
academies are
that.
somewhere between 3 to 6 months. Just get it done and get on the road. What else do we got here? Frunky. Mallow Boy says, "Hey Martin, what's the NTAOR? Did I spell it right? I want to investigate this. And what is the other one that deports illegal document grade content? Ghost does not like this. Let's find the kids.
meme is hilarious.
Yeah. So okay, I'll repeat this one more time while Zach finds the names. When you're caught by immigration, right? Let's say Border Patrol, there's many ways that they can process you to to either allow you to stay in the country or to be deported, right? You have to be encountered. You get something called an alien registration number, and then from there they process you.
Funny enough, like there's always been like people who intentionally lace or lace pills and lace drugs that circulate the market, of course. But I might be dating myself here, but you used to be able to innocently try some shit one weekend with your college friends without having to risk your whole damn life.
Yeah, it's like, bro, can you even do like psychedelics anymore without dying or something?
I might be exposing a little bit of myself here, but it didn't used to be like this. Like, you used to be able to innocently have some fun one time with your homies, but damn, it's just scary out here now. Glad I'm older, man.
Depending on how you came in.
Yeah, glad that wasn't our generation.
What's going on right now is it used to be you come in illegally, you're getting something called an expedited removal, which basically means you're going to get removed from the United States expeditiously within 2 weeks, and that's probably the
like I
fastest,
said, it's
most
always
efficient
been
way
a
to
thing,
deport you,
but nowadays,
right?
man,
or sometimes they have a voluntary return as well. But an expedited removal, it shows the record, you have your alien number, etc. It's quick, efficient. Then they have something called an NTAR, Notice to Appear, Release on Own Recognizance, right? And that means that you're going to see an immigration judge at a later time, and that judge is going to dictate your fate, whether you get to stay or not. Remember, guys, there's independent courts for the immigration system itself where you're going to see an immigration judge. The reason why that one is what people like is because you might not see an immigration judge for years. And what's going to happen is when you do the NTAOR, they're going to send you somewhere in the United States where you have family, right? You'll stay with them because you're not supposed to be working, wink, wink, which they normally do anyway. And you're going to wait until you have your court date with that immigration judge based on the jurisdiction that you're staying in. But it might take years because immigration courts are backed up. That's when these people do the stupid shit that they do and they commit the crimes. And then that's assuming they even stay at the address that they put in the paperwork. 9 out of 10 times they don't. They go somewhere else.
Why would you
So
stay?
they're going on the fucking wind. Why would you stay?
Yeah.
So, and this is why NTAORs were so hard to come by, and you needed like a real good reason to give somebody one. Like I gave you guys the example. I would have informants. I want to sign them up. Border Patrol, can you help me out here? I want to sign this guy up. Can we do an NTAOR? They would literally tell me, no, you do it yourself. We don't want the liability. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I take him. They release him to my custody. I handcuff him. I take him to the office. I fucking process him, give him the NTAOR, and then he goes and he's my problem. Border Patrol wouldn't do it. Fast forward fucking 4 years. Now they're giving NTAORs to fucking gang members.
Single adult males, bro, coming from all these countries, thousands, millions of people.
So they're giving these NTAORs, and then on top of that, they've created an infrastructure to expedite it, including creating positions, bringing in other agencies,
mandating other agencies like HSI.
They're making HSI agents help process these motherfuckers.
FPS, Federal Protective, Air Marshal. So now
we showed a video on stream the other day. Independent journalists at the border. It was like a 5-minute long video of like 100+ immigrants, and a lot of them were fighting age males. Like it wasn't women and children until like almost the end of the line, but literally coming from all over the world, entering through the southern border. Like, man,
going everywhere and throughout America.
And there was people in the comments said we were spreading fear, propaganda. Like what? We were just sharing the video. Literally, the man in the video didn't even say anything. He just asked them where they're from and where they're going, bro. And there were some kids in there solo,
man,
as young as 12 years old, crossing the border by their damn self. Man said, "Wow,
less safe in the sky." There's less. There's less.
We're pulling guys from what they should be doing to help
the
border crisis, but they're not even really securing the border. They're just letting them come in. So we're basically making it more efficient to allow illegal aliens to come into the country.
At a grand scale.
I almost want to link that video.
So that's what an NTAOR is, guys. And then there's obviously other things. Then they also get the expedited removal, but with credible fear. So they have 2 weeks to get removed, but what do? I have credible fear. So they get to see an asylum officer.
Stamp it. Just rubber stamp it.
Which is a rubber stamp. And then what else? What else are the other processing ways? We talked about voluntary return.
You're like, you can be held for an NTA.
Yeah.
So notice to appear, now we're holding you.
Yeah, but that rarely happens. They don't have the bed space for it.
Yeah, and there's other ones too.
Yeah, notice to appear is where they hold you in immigration, but that's assuming ICE has bed space.
There's a bag and baggage, which I don't even know what the hell a bag and baggage is. You know what a bag and baggage is?
I've never heard that.
It's basically I think it's more or less an I-44 with a couple extra paces. So we're not even really doing that. Like you've come into the country on an NTAOR, you've left, we've caught you coming back in, and now we're just reinstating that original NTAOR. So we're not even punishing you.
Oh, that's rare. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not even punishing you.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to leave when you get the NTAOR, but these motherfuckers leave and come back.
And we just read a little blurb where we caught you and you're good to go.
We got innocent people in jail right now for years.
Oh, I believe it, brother.
Yeah.
System's fucked.
Free those men. Free those men, bro.
What else do we got?
Go
names?
ahead. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, no, go. Let's.
Lincoln Riley, 22 years old, from Augusta,
trying to
University. I'm sure
find
you
it
guys
right
heard her 'cause
now,
her
actually.
name was mispronounced by the president of the United States.
Oh yes, the girl
Her
that was
name's
killed.
Lincoln. Yeah, it's not Lincoln, by the way. It's Lincoln. Just it's important to me. Yeah, that's important to me. She was out jogging. Killer had been caught and released by us.
Wow.
Border Patrol apprehended Jose Ibarra, and I don't even want to say the kid's name, to be honest with you, but he was caught in September 2022 by the Biden-Harris. He was caught and released,
Wow.
He was released due to urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. And that's in quotes. Like,
What does that even mean?
just a bunch of stuff to let the kid look up, Lincoln Riley. So
Normally, significant public benefit would be they might be an informant, but the way they're giving out NTAs, I don't know if that's true anymore.
So far we have Kayla Hamilton, Lincoln Riley. We have Rachel Morin, 37-year-old mother of 5, out of Maryland. She was found on a trail, raped and murdered.
Dang.
In quotes I have, she was laying on her back fully naked. And she had brutal head trauma. Oh, of course I lose it. Oh, no, she had brutal head trauma. It looked like her head had been smashed in with a rock. There was a 15 to 20-foot blood trail, so it looked like she had been beaten and dragged into that position.
Wow.
Rest in peace, August 6, 2023. Her killer released multiple times in the U.S.
Damn.
He had started a crime spree in El Salvador.
Wow.
So this man literally got away with brutalizing a woman, and he got away with it because he's an immigrant. So pretty much immigrants live lawlessly, pretty much. So we can do that, and it's a wrap. But they do that, and they can just go out free?
That is
Like,
wild.
bro, I just couldn't even imagine me in the mindset to do it. But the fact that we to let an immigrant commit such a heinous crime that I believe we should give somebody a death penalty for, but just to let an immigrant out on something I think he should get death for is crazy. He's like, he's just out? Oh, bro.
Oh, yeah. There's powerful niggardry at work here.
And
Wow. Also, probably let in illegally. Detainers weren't
Encountered,
filed.
yeah.
They wouldn't hold him when he was okay. Wow.
And
So we had multiple chances to catch this fucking guy.
Wait,
They didn't do it.
He's not in jail right now?
no, he is, but he
He had
was
been released
encountered.
multiple times. So
What
he-
we're talking about was him.
Border Patrol let him in. He committed crimes. He got arrested multiple times. They didn't honor the detainers from immigration.
I don't know if that's it. Whatever I said, because that was on quotes. But
Okay.
I don't want to get it
So
wrong.
we don't know if this guy was.
We just know he was encountered by.
Okay.
He had
Okay.
been released multiple times in the U.S.
Okay.
Either by us or the cops. Either one is bad.
Yeah, so then detainers weren't honored. Yeah, we can infer if he was arrested multiple times in the United States and he was never encountered by immigration, detainers weren't honored. Or not even placed, maybe. Which they should be, which, like I was explaining to you guys before, illegal alien gets arrested in the United States, there should be a detainer placed on him so that he's held for ICE to come and pick him up. What else?
And then Jocelyn Lungaray, hopefully I explained that right, or I said pronounce it right. Houston, 12 years old. She's walking to a convenience store, sexually assaulted and strangled. June 16, 2024.
12 years old?
12 years old. By 2 illegal Venezuelan nationals who had crossed the United States illegally, and brought by the border patrol, catch and release. We're not really even talking about the guys that we don't catch either. This whole thing has been on guys
This
that
is
we've
this is
caught.
just the people that get encountered. These aren't the people that make it successfully through. There's millions of them too. This is just the people they catch.
In the terrorism sleeper cells, the money that's being spent on them. I'm concerned that if somebody got in and wanted to charge me with a 1324, they legally could.
Yeah.
You could argue that I'm the one trafficking these people. Why am I driving north? I should be driving
Y'all
south.
make sure to go check out that video I
And
just
then,
linked in the
you know,
chat. I'm gonna
you
pin
could
it.
charge with 18 USC
The video we
1591
covered
sex
on stream the other day, a 5-minute plus long video of just immigrants literally walking into the country and they're telling you where they're coming from and where they're headed.
personal sources. There you go, man.
trafficking of children.
Yeah.
Or by forward fraud. I mean, these are like when you like.
Yeah, if you boil it down, that is that's fucking crazy, bro.
Damn it.
Wow. And then you look at what's going on in
wild
England and
as hell.
Ireland.
Yo.
Same deal.
Yeah.
You know, one of my best friends is the first Irish fighter. I just so happened to meet the kid. We developed a good relationship. Tom Egan. He's the first Irishman ever to make it to the UFC from Ireland before Conor. Him and Conor are cool. And he hold mitts for Johnny Bone Jones. Tommy, if you're watching, I love you, kid. We're gonna eat some steak tips after this if I don't get in too much trouble. But No, I mean in Ireland and England, what you see going on over there. Have you
Good,
guys seen the
big
videos?
dog.
Some
Yeah,
steak
yeah,
tips is
No one
crazy.
can get
Oh, God.
housing. They're,
On
they're
me.
building camps for them, like
Real.
building houses, and Irish people getting thrown out in the streets.
It's fucking crazy, man.
You saw that video with the guy with a stroller, the white guy with a stroller,
Yeah, I saw that. You
and
seen
he got
that?
stabbed by this immigrant in the UK.
Oh yes, I did see that.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Walk
crazy.
with your kid.
Yeah.
One in the neck, you're done.
Yeah,
And
he
there's-
survived, but he almost died.
Oh, he
thank
survived?
God he survived. Yeah,
Yeah, he did survive.
He survived.
Good.
He did.
Good.
But he bled out bad. But people were able to luckily call the police there
The
quickly.
guard or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Is that it?
No, I can keep going unless you want to.
No. Keep reading the names and then
Oh
we'll
no, the
close out
names are
here.
done. The names are done.
The names are done.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, this was a lot to take in, bro.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in.
That was a lot to take in.
A lot.
I mean, bro was going for fact, man, and that was going crazy.
That was alarming. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And make sure you follow Set and Key Media
Should
on...
we show that video real quick again?
Which one?
That one I just linked in the chat.
Sure, but let's... Well, I don't know. Well, shoot, run a poll, see if they want to see the video personally. And then we've got... But right now, let's go ahead and get in some geopolitics. Make sure to follow us on X, man. Set and Key Media, man, on X. Oh, God, we there, too. Yes, I know.
As we transfer
Israel
over
has
some
just
X
been embarrassed
content. I
like
didn't know
we've
you were about
never
to play
seen
these.
before. The Houthis in Yemen
About to
fired a
play
drone
these,
from over
actually.
2,500 kilometers away, and they've hit Israel's capital, Tel Aviv. And not only that, Israel's air defense failed to notice the drone, and they failed to shoot it down. And because of this, Tel Aviv has now been classed as an unsafe area of Israel. And quite weirdly, the drone actually flew into Israel via the Mediterranean, which means it must have flown over Egypt and then across into Israel. And because of this, it suggests that the Houthis in Yemen actually have backhand secret information about Israel's air defense radars and their blind spots. Now, according to most media outlets, only one Israeli was killed in the strike, except it proved to Israel that Israel's air defense doesn't really work very well. This strike was more the Houthis saying, we can hit you and you don't know about it. But the important part to remember is that this also shows that if the Houthis can hit Israel from over 2,000 kilometers away, then Hezbollah in Lebanon definitely can. And so because of this, the government of Israel has probably realised that if a big war was to break out, then they would probably take quite a lot of damage. And as expected, after the strike was reported, the Houthis issued a statement on it, and they said Tel Aviv will be a primary target from now on. And there was also this footage of the drone actually hitting the building in Tel Aviv, and obviously it wasn't huge, but it just shows that
showing y'all a little bit of geopolitics. So just letting y'all know what's going on around the world real quick.
Houthis are capable of hitting Israel, especially Tel Aviv, which is meant to be one of the most defended cities in the world. But for some more news like this, you can just check out...
shout out to this dude, Alex Barncoat. He's pretty good content. I like it. Dorito, Israel has broken their treaty with Egypt. Yes, things that you probably didn't know that was going on.
Doing that, they seized control of the Egypt-Gaza border. And because of this, they now...
Yes, they broke their treaty with Egypt. Egypt going to war?
Egypt might be about to go to war with Israel. Last night, Israel invaded eastern Rafah.
Damn.
And in doing that, they seized control of the Egypt-Gaza border. And because of this, they now control that border up to the Rafah crossing. Now, in doing this, Israel actually violated the Camp David Accords. Now, if you don't know what these are a series of agreements that Egypt and Israel agreed to, which meant that they wouldn't fight each other. Now, in part of these agreements, it makes very clear that Israel is not allowed to seize control of the Egypt-Gaza border, except they just did. Now, because of this, it means that Egypt is technically allowed to retaliate against Israel, but it appears that they're not going to do anything. Now, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry posted a statement on this today, and they said they condemn Israel seizing the border, and on top of that, they said Egypt sees this as a dangerous escalation that threatens millions of lives in Rafah. Except nowhere in their statement did they say that they were going to retaliate. They didn't even say that they were going to go to the UN about it. They simply just condemned Israel's actions. But as Israel continues to invade Rafah and they continue to seize more of that border, I'm sure things between the countries could definitely escalate. But this last part is quite important. Obviously, the news is very easy to forget because there's just so many things going on. So because of that, I post weekly summaries of everything that's happened in the last week to my free email list. So if you want to join that email list...
Yep, and that's one other thing I don't know that's going on. I always did say, bro, Israel, they be breaking treaties out here. North Korea is sending troops to Ukraine to help Russian forces. Yeah.
just announced that they will be sending troops to the Donbass region. For the first time, North Korea is going to be sending troops to Russia to help them fight Ukraine. After Putin visited last week, North Korea has just announced that they will be sending troops to the Donbass region of Ukraine to help the Russian forces. The US has responded to this, and they said they will be, quote, slaughtered. The US Department of Defense said, if I were a member of the North Korean military, I would question the wisdom of being sent to Ukraine to participate in an unlawful war in Eastern Europe. And it's worth noting that the US and most of NATO have already accused North Korea of supplying weapons and ammunition to Russia. But for the first time, North Korea has officially announced their military support for Russia. And another first time, this will actually be the first time North Korea has ever sent troops outside of the Korean Peninsula to fight a war. Now, the military units that are being sent are military engineering units, and they're going to be sent to the Donetsk region of Ukraine. Now, these troops are expected to arrive within just a month as well. But in doing this, it also...
So ain't that crazy how Trump was cool with Putin? He was cool with Kim Jong, and
Xi Jinping as well.
So ain't that crazy how now, like, you know, the South Korean president is going to help out Russia?
Yeah.
And they were all cool with Trump, but now that Trump is in office, they're just they teamed up now.
It's like they waited for the opportunity. They were salivating.
And one urgent news I'd like to put out there would be...
America has just been told to basically fuck off by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia will no longer be selling oil in just US dollars. Instead, they will actually be trading in the Chinese yuan and the Russian ruble. Now, the reason for this is that Saudi Arabia has decided not to renew their 80-year petrodollar deal with the US. Since 1974, this petrodollar deal meant that Saudi Arabia was only allowed to sell their oil in US dollars. This petrodollar deal is one of the few big things that have been propping up the US dollar around the world. And with this deal over, it means a new currency could very easily take its place. And as you may know, it's possible that that new currency could be a BRICS currency. Members of BRICS, if you don't know, have announced a cryptocurrency blockchain-based currency. And this is expected to be backed by gold, unlike the US dollar, which isn't really backed by anything. And since Saudi Arabia ended this petrodollar deal with the US just today, they have actually said that they could potentially sell their oil in crypto in the future. And so Saudi Arabia definitely seems to be shifting from the West more towards the East. So as you can probably imagine, this is a major blow to the US. And over the next few weeks and months, you could potentially see the US wanting to place sanctions onto Saudi Arabia simply just for doing this. But for some more news like this, you can just check out my other videos.
Shout out to Bro, though. He do give some pretty good information. I like it. I like it. Anyway, though, shoot, what was I about to do? Give out. Now let's go on to a little bit more 10-year news.
And America is about to place sanctions onto India. Now, they've been allies for a really long time, but it seems that they're about to become enemies. The other day, India signed a 10-year agreement with Iran, and obviously Iran is America's enemy. The deal that India signed with Iran says that India will fund the building of Iran's largest shipping port. And the reason for this is that this is about to create a whole new global shipping lane across the world. You obviously know, but for around the last 150 years, the shipping lanes from Russia to India have gone around Europe and through the Suez Canal. But with this new shipping port in Iran, which India is funding the building of, the ships will no longer go around Europe or through the Suez Canal. This means that the West will totally lose control of all of the eastern ships that travel through that shipping route. And that means that even if they wanted to, the West couldn't enforce sanctions onto eastern countries. So I'll explain how this new shipping lane is going to work. The cargo that would have been sent on ships and through the Suez Canal will instead go from Moscow down to Iran on trains. This is a new railway that's just been completed, all the way from St. Petersburg down to the Chabahar port in Iran. And that Chabahar port is the port in Iran that India has just funded the building of. And then from that port, the cargo will go from the trains onto ships, where it will then most likely go to India or other countries around the world. Now, this port is expected to be completed within just 8 months, and as soon as that's completed, the West is going to lose all control over the eastern cargo ships that use this route. And as I said at the start of the video, the US may be about to place sanctions onto India for doing this. The US State Department said, quote,
yeah, let's be real. We kind of don't got that economic pull no more. That's what I'm saying. Ever since we kind of like, let's be real, spit in Russia's face. Yeah, they kind of been making it hard for us economically. Like they kind of got together. I feel like if Trump was in office, BRICS would have never became a thing. Because BRICS started damn near during Joe Biden's operations.
A move they think all the way through.
Yeah.
Or didn't. It hasn't proven to be as useful as we thought it would be.
Yeah, wasn't really the best strategy, but you know, I had to give you a little bit of world news before we go ahead and close this one out.
For sure, man. Fire stream almost went 3 hours, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that.
Man, I'm telling you,
we do it for y'all, man. We do it for y'all.
All right, though. But if you want to send in any closing comments, super chat, $1 and up, man, we'll go ahead and engage in it. You know, if you want to continue the conversation. If not, we're going to go ahead and give closing thoughts, man.
Because that was a lot to unpack.
Boy, that whole border crisis, I was just getting pissed off the entire video.
He
I'm just like,
a lot. I appreciated his perspective. And I think a lot of us need to maybe watch this video back because a lot of what he said was alarming.
Man, yeah, a lot of us need to watch the video back because I didn't think he was gonna come out with that much stuff. I'm like,
uniform, set
in uniform. I knew it was bad, but now it was like, nah, bro, it's egregious. I'm like, oh,
it went from being bad to scary.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro,
it went from being me owning one gun to one own two guns. Like, what you mean,
man?
Like,
it's like now you really ain't taking my guns. It's like now you really ain't doing that because we ain't got nothing else after that. Apparently, after that we screwed.
And like I said, people tend to say people on the right or conservative side inflate the border crisis and the immigration issue. This video right here alone, from the perspective that man provided, should shut y'all the hell up. This shit is serious. This shit is serious, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
they're everywhere. I don't mean to make it sound like a pandemic, but an undocumented is an undocumented.
And the problem is, like, it be these I'm gonna steal this one from Check, but we like to call them blue MAGA. And blue MAGA is like, you know how MAGA believes that Trump or the right can do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But blue MAGA is where pretty much, you know, the Democrats, the left can do nothing wrong. Yeah, that's what, you know, and that's what a lot of dudes are when they're blue MAGA. It's like, oh well, Trump do nothing wrong, so in our eyes the economy is good. In our eyes, like whatever Biden tells us, I'm sorry, but whatever Biden tells us is our reality, and that's blue MAGA. If Biden says or if Kamala says that the economy is good, the economy is good. If they say there's not a border crisis or it's not that bad, well, to them it's not that bad. It's literally blue MAGA. It's like they live in that bubble that, well, society provides them. And it's kind of crazy because they're never willing to look out that bubble because then they can honestly look out for their neighbor or their, you know, fellow countrymen.
And that's actually scary because just like a lot of us who, I wouldn't even call myself a full-blown Trump supporter, but I'm supporting him in this election, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of us on that support Trump can sit here and realize that sometimes he inflates things, sometimes he overspeaks on things, like his stat yesterday about the drug dealers. Like the average drug dealer has killed 500 people.
I'm like,
we called him out on the spot. Like, come on, Trump. Like that's low key. It's crazy to even think that.
Or the girl that's boxing. He never corrects himself and be like, all right, look, I was wrong. She was intersex. She's
so a lot of times he speaks in these absolutes which can be disproven and they're just flat out incorrect.
Yeah.
But I do think like you said, Shek made a great point. Like people on both sides tend to get tunnel vision and just believe whatever they're sold, whatever narrative that they're given, and they run with it a lot of times to the bank and don't bother to fact check it. On both sides, it's alarming. Another alarming thing that goes on,
man.
But again, man, feel free to share any thoughts, questions, comments as we close out. 3-hour plus stream.
Man, it was a
double header, man. We ran a 2.5 one, 2.5 hour one right before this. Got me stumbling my words, man, but we do it for y'all.
Man, we appreciate the support here at S.E.T Media. We will catch y'all tomorrow. Hey, man. Peace.
Peace.
Y'all have a good night. All right, 69. Not too bad.
Yeah, $100.